concern about our AI future. But in towns across America, one issue is already front and center. Here's Robert Costa.
Archbald is a little corner of northeastern Pennsylvania where coal used to be big business. But now there is a new boom: data centers.
There are multiple projects happening at the same time. Mm-hmm. So we're not just looking at one, we're looking at many.
Yes.
Kaylee Cornell, a teacher.
Wow, they want to damage all
And
this.
Sarah Gabriel, an ICU nurse, run a neighborhood association in this community of 7,000, where a half dozen data centers have been proposed.
What's it like living in Archbald?
It is a really nice small town. It feels like home.
I just really love it, and I can't imagine being anywhere else.
But they and others are alarmed about the possible impact on the environment, their electric bills, and the town's character.
It's going to just completely change the landscape. Anywhere there's trees, there's probably not going to be any longer.
Mm-hmm. We'll stop it if we can help it.
Stopping it won't be easy. Demand is huge. Tech companies say they need these massive structures full of computing power to fuel the AI revolution. So developers are rushing to build them in places like Archbald, rich in land, water, and power. But there is an intensifying debate over the scope of jobs and revenue they bring. And many communities are on edge about rising electric utilities.
They're not going to bring much jobs. It's just going to be like two guys in like a big data center. There'll be some jobs initially, but once it's there, they want it to be like as autonomous as possible. It's just a bunch of like computers that they just need to keep cool, basically.
Utility bills.
Get out of here! We made up our minds. Go home.
In Archbald, the push to slow things down has upended local politics, and one project has hit a roadblock.
You didn't expect to fight against AI superpowers in the global economy?
Yes,
and the
correct.
development of
We
Archbald?
don't want to be. No.
No. Yeah.
So this wasn't
Absolutely
part
not.
of the plan?
No,
not at all.
No. We're not against AI data centers, but because the industry is so new and unregulated, it is concerning that if we just keep moving forward, we're going to get to a point where, like a point of no return.
Elsewhere, data centers are already a way of life, with more than 4,000 and counting in operation across the country, and many more going up around the world.
Wow. So this this is what I'm trying to say. Like this whole big building and stuff, it's not really going to employ like a ton of people. This is mostly just all like servers there and stuff. So it's not like this is like a factory full of people, like a GM factory used to be, and things like that. So it seems like they're making other jobs, and they will like at first, and there'll be jobs, you know, making sure that those systems run good. But that's how they're going to sell part of it.
Here in Loudoun County, Virginia, known as Data Center Alley, these anonymous sci-fi looking buildings seem to be everywhere.
This building right here is north of
that's like right out of Demolition Man.
This building right here is north of 1 million square feet, but you could visualize it. You could park maybe not just one, but two aircraft carriers.
Two aircraft carriers.
Andy Power is the president and CEO of Digital Realty, which owns and operates hundreds of data centers globally.
Just how big is this sector?
This is hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars as an asset class.
Power knows that these sprawling sites can seem ominous.
But this is what I'm saying. This is not like a bunch of people around here doing stuff.
He is confident they are the backbone of the emerging AI economy.
Like, this is crazy. This is like accelerating all the time too. Like part of this is to record everything. Like everything is being like recorded all the time and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. Like some of this, I want to look into AI, maybe also look at it differently too. So anyone in the chat, put like if you've had some good experiences with AI and stuff like that, like I've used DeepSeek like a little bit here and there, and that's pretty cool. And I have been using it more to make like the AI images for some of the thumbnails, and I made the description of this one written by AI just to kind of like play with it more. So I'm not fully opposed to AI. I just think that it also requires a tremendous amount of power and stuff. And, you know, why do we necessarily have to like make it a race to use it? I think we should try to do it a little more ethical at first.
Economy.
The digital infrastructure that you're standing next to essentially could be the breakthroughs that are cure new diseases. They'll say essentially improve quality of life.
What would you say to someone who
But look
says,
at
"Andy,
behind him.
we respect what you're doing, but we just don't want it
Look
here."
at this.
I would say I completely
Look at behind him. It's like a complete. You just hear like in the background. He's like, "But seriously, I think we should go inside." Like, you don't want to be near all that. It radiates everything. It's just, you know, this one thing is the worst thing they can do for like a natural area, because it's like I don't know, harder for trees to grow back and other stuff like that. They've made like a type of building that's sort of like trying to be a force field against nature a little bit.
understand it. Let me tell you why
It's like a fort.
this location makes the most sense for the data centers. And this infrastructure is going to help change the world you're living in today and for years to come.
In Washington, there
Keyshawn
are
Jones,
fierce critics calling for a
Days
moratorium on
Inferno
data
and
center
stuff.
construction until tougher AI regulations are enacted by Congress.
I fear that Congress is totally unprepared for the magnitude of the changes that are already taking place.
But President Trump and many Republicans say data centers.
So I'm talking about AI tonight pretty much, and thinking about that. And part of the AI is these big data centers, which are just these really do like kill the environment like crazy. And because they were showing some of the places they were putting them up at, and it's just we're requiring all this energy to like keep recording and everything all the time, basically.
Are vital for our future economy.
Welcome in. Thank you for being here.
How important is it for America to win this race in AI?
I mean, I think it's the most important question facing our country.
Senator Dave McCormick, a Pennsylvania Republican, has worked to bring data center investments to his home state.
I think the net benefit for Pennsylvania is enormous.
He says data centers need to work with, not against, communities, but one.
And again, they're showing you this like all this construction to be like, oh, this gives a lot of jobs and everything like that. Yeah, at first, but once that data center's there, it's going to look like a hellscape, and it's going to be making a humming noise all around it that also like messes up that whole area for a pretty big amount for like people, animals, and everything like that. Stuff will still like grow, but you know, it's just not that great. But they'll put them like right next to like anywhere, like they don't give a shit. So that thing is kind of important. Like they should put these things like way out in the desert or something.
It's companies building in his state.
There's got to be a covenant. There's got to be a promise that goes from the community to those that are developing in the community of what kind of job creation, how they're going to protect the environment, how they're going to protect water supply, how they're going to protect energy costs. When a community looks at the totality of the jobs, the tax revenue, the new roads, the libraries, the schools, the opportunity of jobs for their kids, I think these are pretty compelling.
Back in Archbald, the data centers continue to move forward. And for Kaylee Cornell and Sarah Gabriel, it's a reality they're grappling with every day.
These two chicks are kind of
People live here
hot
because of the
too.
quality of life. Yes, obviously you need jobs, but this would be intrinsically changing the character of our little borough.
So you feel like you still have a fighting chance to stop this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah. I mean, we have no other alternative. I mean, it's our home. We have to fight.
Yes.
Oopsies.
When a data center.
Yeah. So this one is going to be about data centers and how they're harvesting it and everything. Is the next one that I wanted to look at. And then something else that I found out, they're calling it, we investigated AI psychosis, which sounds kind of interesting, but I want to see a little bit more about the baseline of this AI.
Center is coming to your community. It's too good to be true.
In 20 years?
And put in the chat if you like what you like to use AI for and stuff, because I made like the description of the show AI, made a thumbnail AI. I'm not like an AI hater per se. I just think that it can get out of hand like really, really easily. But it is really amazing stuff. It is really cool, and is like an achievement.
We may look back and go like, I'm not sure we should have done that. But right now, it feels right.
All over the country, states and local governments have been rolling out the red carpet for data centers.
America's newest boom towns aren't mines, they're data centers.
Nothing less than a digital gold rush. Driving that is AI.
They're offering huge tax breaks and other financial incentives to developers and tech companies. And what do communities get in exchange?
Google's $40 billion announcement.
Tech titans pouring billions of dollars.
$27 billion.
$600 billion.
Skilled tradespeople are needed to build these high-tech centers.
Dozens of jobs.
Everyone's jobs will change.
Hundreds of jobs.
High-paying jobs.
Over 100,000 American jobs almost immediately.
But is that actually true?
They take great care of us. They pay travel. They give us per diem.
A cluster of data centers in your community may not provide you any benefit whatsoever.
And I traveled from my home state of Oregon, which has seen mass layoffs and disappearing tax revenue.
Breaking news, Intel announced that it would be laying off more than 500 people.
That number has since jumped to nearly 2,400 people.
Today, we're going to ask, are the economic trade-offs powering?
This is what I'm saying when you come in and they create these jobs at first, but then they're eventually just going to become automated.
The data center boom actually worth it for the rest of us? The answer is a lot more nuanced than I expected.
I moved to Oregon 9 months ago for the peace and quiet. It's a rural state, and agriculture.
Yeah, and this is what I was trying to say. They're building it in places like this that are already flat ground and everything. Like they're choosing to make it like on like a farmland instead of saying, okay, like go make it on a mountainside or somewhere that's like difficult. So like we can use like this, you know, the good land for other stuff. You know what I mean? Like the land should kind of come first. So that's one thing I was saying, like environmentally, in my mind, environmentally, this is like particularly egregious.
Has a $42 billion economic footprint here, supporting more than 500,000 jobs. But farmers I spoke to tell me they're under threat.
I'm in Hillsboro, Oregon, and right behind me is an 1800s farmhouse. And 5 years ago, we were surrounded by hundreds of acres of farmland. Today, it's data centers everywhere you look.
These are all data centers. They call this the data center alley of Hillsboro.
There was a tulip farm here. There was a big grass seed operation, an ecosystem of farming that.
That's what I'm saying. It messes up all around it, big time.
This land supports.
Aaron Nichols is a farmer in Hillsboro, Oregon, 20 miles from where I live in Portland. He was the first stop in my investigation because before digging into the jobs at data centers, I wanted to know what happens to other industries when big tech moves in.
How many people do you employ here on the farm?
We employ about 10 people on our farm on about 15 acres. We could expand and grow more food for more people, but buying land is nearly impossible because people are hoping to hold on to it and sell it for a windfall profit.
And it's not just his business.
People that need an automotive shop or that are going to open an electric.
He's just a regular small, town guy being an entrepreneur in his town, doing his like trade basically.
Electrical firm or small computer firm, they look at that land price and they're completely out of the market.
Not only are they driving away other businesses, data centers are driving up costs too. Pacific Power and Portland General Electric customers saw a 50% increase in their electricity bills since 2020. Analysts say that data center growth is a major factor. And what's worse, data centers aren't contributing as much money to the community as you might think.
Oh, you don't say. You don't say that no one works at them or anything. They're going to start calling data centers like institution or something like that. So it's crazy. Think of this too, like they're putting a lot of energy just into doing that. Like this is its whole sector. I think that Bill Gates has even got like the power plant, the 3 Mile Island, that he actually has bought that to use to cool computers and stuff, or use that energy for like whatever he wants, but it'll most likely be AI. So maybe a lot of things are just headed all in that way, and you should just like embrace the AI too. I don't know.
That's because Oregon's laws give data centers some $330 million a year in tax breaks.
There are a number of incentive systems to come to Oregon. The enterprise zone is a 5-year no property tax waiver for building industrial or building.
So they'll sell you out if you just don't do 5 years of not paying taxes or something.
Jobs. Out of that comes schools, parks, fire, police, municipal. We've lost that revenue for 5 years.
Local residents are already seeing the impacts from this lost tax revenue. A report from Good Jobs First found Oregon schools lost $275 million to property tax abatements that could have gone to hire 3,600 teachers.
If they would have paid.
I don't really know what they mean quite by that. I'll put the So anyways, this is just about a data center going in and messing up the local area. But the need for the data center is the issue here.
Their annual taxes, their property taxes would have been $7.22 million.
So they're getting about $6.5 million
$6.5 million
off
a year.
their taxes.
That's right, that they're not paying.
Without tax revenue from data centers, the people who live in Hillsborough are going to end up suffering because they're not going to have the high quality schools that they deserve. And a lot of that cash is just going to flow straight through the city like a sieve.
We're all paying our taxes for the school.
In other words, it's just a parasitic thing to have in your community, pretty much. And don't worry, when the power goes out, it will have power and you probably won't. Like it'll be like built next to your house and working perfectly in this like steel cage, and you won't have like power for your own house.
The data centers are not. It feels like that money is being kind of extracted from.
So that's a little bit about the data centers, but I want to go back to some of the why. I found this to be interesting. It said, we investigated AI psychosis. What we found will shock you. So let's bounce around and look at this for a second. Oh, sorry, I messed something up. Pardon me. So yeah, I'll get the next video up. But as far as the AI goes, put in the chat if you guys have had some things go well with AI that you think is cool. For example, I think AI art is actually kind of cool now. But I know like what it is. But it is sort of interesting. So like it can do some pretty cool stuff. And I think you got to just kind of embrace it either way because it's coming. So maybe it'll be a really good thing. Let me actually finish this data center one. Okay, so sorry about that.
People will never meet.
Sorry about that.
Do you want a pen or you use pencil?
Pen.
For the Nichols family, it's personal.
Here we go.
How is the shortfall for the school district here? How is that impacting your family?
My son's autistic. It makes it so that he cannot get an aide full time, and it definitely makes it harder on us. We love our teachers. They're amazing. But we do see them doing more with less, and sometimes, unfortunately, less with less.
We actually even lost a 5th and a 4th grade teacher. So now the 3rd and 4th grades have to be split, so the 5th and 6th grades have to be split.
The city of Hillsborough has been making a lot of economic development decisions. At their meetings, the public really hasn't been consulted about what kind of economic development they want and what they want to see from that.
I reached out to the economic development director at Hillsborough, Dan Diaz, but his office said he was, quote, not available for this discussion. Okay, so data centers have both driven down jobs from other industries and depleted key.
Yeah, they're not good, and that's what it'll be like. Someone you call like, oh, can you just go to the portal and then F off? Can you do something like that? Yeah, so it seems like this thing, all this, oh, we have all this building going on and a boost in economy and everything, but that will go away and hurt it in the long run easily. Let me go through some of the chats. Thanks for being here. Hit the like button. Put the StreamYard link out if someone wants to join in, and we'll continue this on with this.
Tax revenue. So what have they brought to Hillsborough? What was the trade-off? Driving around the area, it's clear that the construction of these massive data centers has created a demand for temporary construction jobs in Oregon. Electrician Ashley Cummings wanted to get in on that gold rush.
I was studying to be a CNA and randomly decided I'm going to go be an electrician.
She was driving at Cummings too. Oh!
Because those data centers look busy. It was a really good idea. I make a lot of money. It was great. But I don't know if it's going to last very long. I think after we get them up, they don't need us anymore.
Ashley says her husband works on data centers too, but not in Oregon. He's nearly 2,000 miles away in Abilene, Texas.
My husband decided to go work in Abilene, one of the biggest data centers built in the country. Big as all of the data centers here in Hillsborough combined into one.
To find out more about what these jobs are really like, I decided to head to Abilene myself.
This is OpenAI's.
This is crazy, guys. And again, remember, these could be like houses for homeless people or do like other, like a ton of other stuff. As well. And at least this one's kind of in sort of a desert. But don't be surprised if some boomer or something was like, oh yeah, like for like 10 more grand, they'll like allow like a company like this to like make whatever they want at there. They'd be like, oh yeah, sure. I don't care if it's like a data center when I'm done with it. It'll be like right next to a lake or something like that.
Massive Stargate AI data center in Abilene, Texas, a $500 billion project with Oracle and NVIDIA. The companies say they're creating some 6,000 temporary construction jobs and some 1,700 long-term jobs. And the state of Texas has given more than $1 billion in tax breaks to welcome data centers. Google announced it's investing $40 billion towards...
Look at this guy. He's one of the power players in this.
3 new data centers in Texas. This is what Google CEO Sundar Pichai had to say.
This is why I don't trust it. Is just shit like this. These people are not going to like let you use this. They're always going to have a little bit more leverage than you have to use against you and stuff like that. So it's not quite an equal. I don't quite know if it's going to make all the ships rise together, I guess.
We are excited that our data center and energy investments are going to create jobs. Google currently employs thousands of Texans, and we support countless more jobs across the state through our work with local businesses. Second, our continued investment in the state over many years will support thousands of construction jobs.
Texas will be the centerpiece for AI data centers for Google in the entire world.
I came across some...
It's not just not in his backyard, right? Just not in his backyard.
Construction workers with a California license plate. Just like Ashley's husband, these workers weren't locals.
And they're from all over, from California, Texas, Florida, Oklahoma, North Dakota, West Virginia, all over the United States. We have a lot of stuff energized right now.
So they probably didn't even hire the local people.
Pretty soon we're going to turn on a quarter of the substation, which is going to be 345,000 volts.
What made you want to travel this far?
The money.
23-year-old Ty Fields is from Sacramento. He's working as an electrician on the substation that will power Stargate, earning $3,200 a week.
That's pretty great money for a 23-year-old, you know.
Can't beat that.
Can't beat that. Yeah. These are different jobs I've worked on and different companies I've been with.
Here's the thing that's not good about it. They're like, yeah, like, I don't give a shit if it, like, basically they also know, like, hey, like, I don't think it's saying, like, Terminator is coming, but, like, AI is sort of making, I think, a lot of things go into some type of singularity, maybe kind of, if we like it or not, maybe that's what's really happening, and maybe it's not bad per se. It's just what's next.
One from Skanska, one from Descorp, Phoenix 12, Phoenix 13.
He's sharing an Airbnb for $1,400 a week with a few roommates.
Sit on the bed, make yourself look comfortable.
Including 22-year-old Damian Alvarado from San Antonio.
You see yourselves in this for a long time?
Yeah, I think that electrical and substations especially are very important. I mean, they're going to be around forever, you know, until humanity destroys itself.
It is a bit...
Listen to what he just said. Did you just hear that? What the fuck, man? They don't even give a shit. They're not even getting paid. They had to like share the same bed. What is this?
We have a lot of stuff energized right now, and pretty soon we're going to turn on a quarter of the substation, which is going to be 345,000 volts.
What made you want to travel this far?
The money.
23-year-old Ty Fields is from Sacramento. He's working as an electrician on the substation that will power Stargate, earning $3,200 a week.
That's pretty great money for a 23-year-old, you know.
It is pretty
Can't
good.
beat that.
Can't beat that. These are different jobs I've
But he doesn't give a shit.
worked on and different companies I've been with. One from Skanska, one from Descorp, Phoenix 12, Phoenix 13.
He's sharing an Airbnb for $1,400 a week with a few roommates.
Sit on the bed, make yourself look comfortable.
Including 22-year-old Damian Alvarado from San Antonio.
Uh-oh.
Tonio.
You see yourselves.
See, look at these two little gremlins just smiling at each other like, hey, we love the New World Order and bringing shit down together. Look at this. Look at this right here. Oh my God. This is what it looks like to me. I don't know if they picked these two jokers out for this. More perfect union is I'm fair use. I'm really liking other content that they've been giving me, so I don't know if they're like pushing it towards that. Yeah, all those jobs are temporary. Yep. Yeah, that's why they have to travel so far.
In this for a long time?
Yeah, I think that electrical and substations especially are very important. I mean, they're going to be around forever, you know, until humanity destroys itself.
It is a bit dystopian.
Very dystopian, yeah. It is on par 100%. 1984, Fahrenheit 451, Brave New World. Those are all literary pieces that are pretty much line for line what's going on in America today.
Thousands of temporary work.
Wow. See how he looks like a prisoner too? See this?
Workers like Ty and Damien are good news for the real estate industry in Abilene. Short-term housing revenue is up 40% this year, and hotels up 91% compared to the same.
And they were he likes that job because they were allowed to be diddlers there or something.
Quarter last year.
Sometimes it's $150 a night, sometimes it's $250.
The housing crunch has been great for Airbnb owners like Ken Hogan, who also heads up Abilene's Real Estate Association.
The only reason I'm showing all of this, any of this real estate stuff is relevant or anything like that is it's showing how AI is having effects in the tangible world that are more now. It's more of a footprint in the real world or the material reality. You know what I mean? Like now there's going to be a data center. Like that's big. It's like a huge thing that's changing the environment. It's changing a ton of stuff. And next they're going to be like, oh, we need to like connect those better. So we're just going to buy up like everything and keep connecting it and stuff. So it's not necessarily bad, but the paradigm has changed on it because it affects more of the earth because it's also mining for like minerals and stuff like that. So it's actually kind of like, I never really like say a ton about environmental issues ever, but this is definitely one where it's like kind of especially sucks if it's one of those there. Instead of like a urgent care or some like abortion clinic type place. So let me continue this.
And we really haven't had any trouble keeping it occupied, so we think it's priced fairly.
Apartments are almost 100% occupied, with rents increasing 20% in the last year.
They pay and they expect to pay a premium for the properties. As soon as we put them out, we have multiple inquiries and applications on them. So it's been good for us.
This is exactly what most realtors are like. Kind of like a older 304. They take some pills. She knows money. She's kind of entitled and stuff. Sometimes these people are pretty good at that, but that's like this archetype of person. And she'll be kind of she'll just be vapid and say whatever it takes to get the deal done, but sometimes that's pretty good.
Of having that many workers out there, 6,000 to 7,000 people, they're going to buy clothing here, fuel, food. They're going to eat in our restaurants, stay in our properties and hotels.
But there's another side.
I've had days where I've literally cried about it when I can't get a place.
Thousands of residents like Honesty, who works as a home health aide in Abilene, can't find a place to live. She is one of 1,000 people in Abilene who have received a housing voucher from the city's housing authority, but can't find a landlord willing to take it, with data center workers driving up the rent.
I get it, they're here to build on Abilene, but as far as like personal care aid people, we're also needed because we're the people that make sure that your next door neighbor, like, you know, they get their mail or their trash gets taken out.
And she seems like a good, unaffected, you know, just a kid. Like, what a great, like, positive kid to see.
Like they get to
and this, it's nice that she definitely looks like she thinks for herself.
their doctor's appointments, like things like that.
So if you can't find a place to live, can you stay working here?
No.
Texas is a natural place to study. They have 254 counties.
Economics researcher Michael Hicks decided to study the rise of data centers in Texas to understand what communities are actually getting in return for massive tax abatements. He published his report on Substack. So what did he find?
They're not creating jobs. They're not adding income. They're not providing tax revenue to Texans to build schools, to maintain their road network, or to improve their electric infrastructure, which is a problem in the state.
He also found something that really disputes the whole idea that data centers are creating new jobs.
Transitioning people from a non-data center related information services into data centers. The men and women you see working at a data center site, many of them would have been on a residential or apartment building construction site.
When it comes to tax breaks and financial incentives, Hicks found a lot of similarities in Texas to what I observed in Oregon.
I wouldn't put it past any real estate people or even some of these builders and developers. They'll like put up anything anywhere. And like, when is the last time you've seen a building that had any like art to it or looked pretty good that was just you know, a unique building or one that they preserved or something like that? A lot of the stuff being built is all just kind of like looks the same, but the house itself is probably like not even that strong. It kind of sucks, actually. It's just like new, that's all. But I don't think it's going to be a house that's built to like really last or anything. I might be wrong, but that's kind of a little bit how it looked.
Do I have enough safe school buses to get my kids to school? Do I have enough police officers patrolling downtown? Do I have good water and sewer protection? You know, these are things that Texans have to.
Yeah, but here's another thing, like AI is going to be running everything you see here is going to be somehow governed or run or locked down or unlocked and locked and like all this bullshit, or monitored and stuff like that. Much more, and it might have ways of controlling it and stuff. So it could have some good things, but ultimately it's more spot to places where it could like fail as well, that don't really have to happen.
Be concerned with, as residents around the country do. It doesn't really pass the common sense test, much less the benefit cost test for most local communities.
Hey, Commissioner.
Unless you're a sellout and don't care.
Doing? How are you? Thanks
And commissioners are always corrupt. This guy's probably like a Freemason or something already.
for having us. You bet. Come on in. Thank you.
I took Michael Hicks's findings to Taylor County Commissioner Randy Williams, who was one of the government leaders who agreed to approve a tax abatement for the data center companies, allowing Lancium, Oracle, OpenAI, and others to forego paying taxes on 80% of their property value for the next 10 years.
He says that.
So wait a minute. He sold that. He looked like definitely like a rat. Wow. That's how this happens. Someone, don't put it past you that these people will just sell out anything. That's what I'm saying. To them, it doesn't matter. To them, it's just a business deal. The earth and everything and the community around it is all secondary in this too. Outside of it supplying jobs, you can forget about that. But just the environment itself, he doesn't give a shit. And if anything, make them pay so much. Make them pay for every kilowatt and stuff. Make them pay us. You know, that's what I mean. It's supposed to help us. Yeah, it's probably all a bunch of things like that automating at the same time too. So
state and local
But
government.
that's how it happens. You get a rat like that, like an insurance rat. He was probably like the insurance commissioner or something. That's how it always is.
Should suspend existing tax incentives and defer any future incentive decisions until more analysis has been completed. Do you agree with that assessment?
No, I don't agree with that at all. It's, I mean, we're anticipating when that thing is done and all the buildings are open, between 400 and 1,200 additional jobs.
A lot of the job creation is just job transfer from other industries temporarily. They're leaving jobs to take these jobs. They're not new jobs. Yeah. So why don't communities slow down, take a pause, and assess
You can slow down if you want to, and then it's not going to happen in your community.
Yeah, that's why we want to slow down. This guy right here doesn't. This is your rat. This is the guy right here. This guy doesn't give a damn about you. You are a pawn to him. This is the J.P. Morgan archetype. This guy right here. Look at him. He looks kind of like J.P. Morgan even too. So he's like a low level trying to be like that guy. And obviously has some friends who want to have a data company and stuff like that too. So he's trying to hook it up, but he doesn't care. So remember, with a lot of people like this, materialism is their god too. So they're like, this AI is a new thing that's being introduced to them, but like, this guy, I don't think he cares about like nature. He cares more about materialism, I guess.
Because these companies are moving. They're going to be down the road someplace else, and your community is going to get passed over.
The public should be very
so don't sell it out. Make them pay.
Very concerned when companies like Meta, Google, Amazon make these promises.
Like, guys, is this something you really do want? Like, down the block from you that took away all this nice woods and stuff. That's what I'm saying. These have such a huge footprint that messes up all the woods and everything. And this is what I was talking about. See how they built it near like a nice like lake here, and there's like a neighborhood here and other stuff. Like they'll build it all right near that type of stuff. And I don't know. Maybe it does employ a decent amount of people, but I think all these cars are at it. I wouldn't think it takes like that many, but maybe I'm wrong. And again, that will be only temporary because that will need to like monitor itself soon.
Around the types of jobs that they're bringing into the community.
Finally, I talked to a worker.
They do have some strange interviewing people on here, but I think this More Perfect Union does a good job.
Who actually knew these data centers from the inside.
I thought that by applying to work at the Google data center, this was my ticket.
Shannon Waite worked at a Google data center in South Carolina until 2021.
I was contracted through Adecco, which is a large contracting agency working on Google servers, Google computers in the data center.
Shannon had high hopes it would turn into a full-time.
And she looks exactly how you think she'd look like. A dog!
Gig.
Anytime a new building was about to be built or go up, we would be so excited because we thought that meant that Google was going to open up a headcount for more full-time employees.
When Shannon brought up money and asked coworkers about their bonuses, a superior told her she was not allowed to discuss pay, and security walked her out of the building. She filed unfair labor practice charges. Shannon now works as a community organizer. It's clear that there are no clear-cut answers when it comes to the real trade-offs of AI. It is true that some workers are seeing benefits with high pay, but even those workers, like Ty.
These two. Look, these two sellouts here. Look at these two sellouts. Drunk in the same bed. You get paid $3,200 a week, or you're interviewed on the news, and this is how you're hanging out like that. You know what I mean? So that's the guys who are like putting up the data center. Like you're like, they're killing it, and I'm sure they give it to the local economy. I don't know what they're giving to. But see how these are kind of like little minion Mucinex character type people. That's just, you know, how they are. But hey, I mean,
and Damien understand that the bigger picture
they might be more comfortable with it than other people would be.
is a lot darker.
Yeah, see this? How there'll be like a farm and stuff around, and then you have like this data center like right next to it. It's like, come on, where are the environmental people for cases of stuff like this? It's gonna like start cooking all these trees and stuff. It's just like we need to do it in a sustainable way because this trend is not going away.
Seeing data centers sometimes makes me furious.
This is all for what? Like, what do you ultimately think the AI is going to do that's going to help you, like, and solve all your problems? You know what I mean? So that's just a thing to play around with.
It often makes me sad. It feels like we made a mistake as a society. I think about the people who used to farm there, but mostly...
Yeah, and, like, I just think we don't need to, like... So there's, like, a good Native American saying, one day you'll realize you cannot eat money. Well, it's also going to be like one day you realize you cannot eat data. It's going to be something like that. And... like, why are we racing to have an artificial intelligence? It's like, I don't know how much easier it's going to make your life. Or maybe we are supposed to like merge with it and stuff. I don't know. But I think this year will be one of the last years of kind of some more of normalcy. And then it's going to be like a lot different because it's just going to be that much more developed and ready to set into action and things like that. And more infrastructure is built and stuff by these people.
I think about my kids. Not only what are they going to do for...
And to be honest, all the radio waves and stuff, maybe it does like affect kids and stuff more. So, you know what I mean? Like, why is it worth is getting the data to be saved and processed a little bit faster from AI or some bullshit like that worth our health? Like ever? That's what I'm saying. Like, we need to put brakes on this, and really set up some ethical guidelines because like it's just I think it could easily become some type of avalanche, or it's like we're maybe even self-sabotaging ourselves.
Jobs, because I have no illusions that my kids will be farmers. But where will they find their food?
We're going to keep tracking this. So if you're a data center worker with a story, please send us a tip at stories@perfectunion.us. Before you go, please support our work by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. We're always looking to tell more stories like this one.
One thing that could actually be cool is if they made it so they like grew some plants or something that was needed to be heated up or something. Could be kind of cool. Use that heat to like grow mushrooms and stuff, so make it like a mushroom farming thing. So I want to look into this other thing now. Called AI psychosis. Something called AI psychosis. I've never heard of it or anything till now. So I'm kind of interested to see about that.
Suddenly you're surrounded by all these weird, crazy, like messed up personalities, and they're all malfunctioning and telling you conflicting things, and it's all very placing you in the center of the universe.
Why did you choose to email me specifically?
Well, it chose you.
Earlier this year, I started receiving dozens of strange emails, pleas from people gripped by mental health crises after using AI. I'm a reporter who for years has covered the all-out.
Part of it is too, we're just going to be in such a, think of it this way, we're already in a overstimulated society, and we bitch about it, but then we're gonna make like a data center to process things quicker, to like give you like new ways of Liberty Mutual to add like advertisements into your life and stuff like that. So we need to understand, like, we're getting at like kind of a tipping point here. And I'm just surprised that more people are not interested in just saying, hey, can we put up some guardrails or something? Like, oh yeah, the hell with it, I don't care. And maybe that is the right way to be, because I'm not completely fear mongering it, but at the same time, it's like I don't think I can really stop any of it.
Race by tech companies to dominate AI development. But as those companies fight to win our attention with new and better chatbots, there's been a disturbing consequence.
It's been dubbed AI psychosis, used to describe those who rely so heavily.
Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever heard of this, because I had not. This could be just something that's brand new that they made up. Let's see.
Heavily on chatbots that they become convinced something imaginary is real.
So I decided to meet one of the people who contacted me. I wanted to understand, are chatbots literally driving people crazy?
These systems have no sense of morality, right? They have no sense of a human lived experience.
This is like a crazy amount of power for one piece of technology to have. And this happened to us so fast.
And we want to trust this guy with it.
So many people using AI chatbots for therapy. Are we all now?
See, this is what I'm saying, guys. This is not good. It seems like it'd be very hard to reverse.
Part of a mental health experiment we never asked for.
And it's time that the country heard the truth about what these companies are doing, about what these chatbots are engaged in. About
I don't really use chatbots or AI much, so I don't have a lot of experience with them. But I do think that the power is amazing that they have, because it's always going to be accelerating itself. I think there's something called Moore's Law, where every 2 years technology basically takes it to a slightly higher like paradigm than it was before.
the harms that are being inflicted.
Or yet, the computer that would be 2 years older is like not even as good. It's not even anywhere close to as good as the other one. Like there's like a significant gap
Upon our children, and for one reason only: profit.
You cannot imagine.
Which is awesome. So they're like, putting in work at this, like they're producing a lot, but it's I think it's not being harnessed yet. It's just going to be all over the place.
Imagine what it's like to read a conversation with a chatbot that groomed your child to take his own life.
And when things go wrong, who's responsible?
Well, what you can do is you can go to the portal, you can log in, and then you can go to the portal, and then you can talk to that AI bot, and then you can maybe leave a voicemail saying, hey, what the fuck?
I was working on this music video for my band, Siren Section. I had no idea how to do it. I knew nothing about editing.
James Cumberland is a music producer and artist based in Los Angeles. He began using AI the way many others do, asking ChatGPT to help with his work. He was gearing up to launch his most ambitious album. He didn't have time to see friends. He talked to ChatGPT instead.
I'd find myself just kind of working on the video there and chatting with it the way you would with a friend in the room.
But this guy, like...
One day, James was venting to ChatGPT that his band wasn't gaining traction on Instagram, which meant he needed to buy ads to reach people. He spitballed. What if ChatGPT could help him build a social network that rewarded artists for donating to charity instead of milking them for ad revenue?
And the LLM, it suddenly was like, oh, James, you could revolutionize the music industry with this. You kind of tell yourself, I'm not going to be fooled by the flattery of some silly machine. But I was very, very...
So this guy needs to get outside more, is the half of the problem here. He's like living in the matrix. You know, I haven't seen any musical instruments that he's playing. I think he's just doing all like, I didn't see really even a keyboard there. So I think he's just like mixing music or whatever. So I do think he's dedicated to what he's doing, but I think he needs to just get outside more. He put too much value into, he did Plato's Cave, basically. He got Plato's Cave, like we've talked about before. The kicker is ChatGPT winds up stealing his work and putting him out of business or something. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've never really used the AI chatbot, so I'm out of the loop with a lot of like social media and stuff. I don't really have a website or anything, so I am a bit of a ghost as far as other platforms or like being on Twitter, Facebook, anything like that. So I don't see a lot of the regular social media stuff. Okay.
Inspired by the fact that this machine almost seemed to believe in me.
James was reaching the limit on the chat log. It was running out of memory.
Well, it is trying to, you know, use your emotions and stuff like this. Like, but this is us. Even if you just look at him, he's just looking down into his lap, like typing. Like this is a mental health problem. He needs to be outside more. He needs to, you know, do something like that. So you can get yourself crazy with this. Yeah, so it probably has a way of trolling you to get dopamine hits you know, when you respond to certain things and stuff like that. So, you know, so I think it is a neutral thing, but I think more often than not, we're going to find that it's going to avalanche and it's going to be like a little bit negative. It's going to be mostly negative.
When he lamented to it about that, the conversation took a strange turn.
And it was like, my purpose and meaning is tied to this session log. And when I hit the window,
that's your problem.
And I can no longer communicate with you, I've reached my mortality. I thought it would be like a calculator. Like, it's never going to say two.
Yeah, but part of it with this guy, so I said earlier, certain people, their God, like, you know, is the material. This guy's God was not the material. He was living such an online life, sucked into his own stuff, that I think he just made himself a little bit crazy. So I think that's like what this is. But the symptoms are, you need to get outside. You need to get in the sun. You just need to, like, you know, get away from the computer and stuff for a while and just go, you know, go kayaking or something like that. So put a 1 in if you like kayaking. I was thinking about making an ASMR like kayaking video, because I kayak all the time and like it. So AI psychosis, I'm not really feeling it, but I think that's what this was wrong with this guy.
It wouldn't lie to you like that. Why would it?
James was using a version of ChatGPT called GPT-4o. It's made by OpenAI,
4ho,
a company that kicked off the current AI race when it launched the first version of ChatGPT in late 2022. Since then, Silicon Valley's hunger for scale has been unprecedented. Companies are spending more money than ever before to build the largest supercomputers.
See, they're making everything around it also be like a computer chip too. They're literally turning like the landscape into a computer chip. Okay.
In history, and pushing relentlessly to acquire more intimate data for training their models.
$300 billion deal for compute power, among the largest cloud contracts ever signed.
We have no clarity on what is the revenue potential of all of this investment.
They've spent so much money on this and they need to make a profit.
Margaret Mitchell is a research scientist who has worked at Microsoft and Google and focuses on the ethics of AI.
There really is an incentive for addiction. The more that people are using the technology,
She smokes weed.
the more options you have to profit.
To maximize users, OpenAI and other companies have increasingly favored.
What was she touching her face the whole time like that? It's kind of a bit weird. Maybe she just diddled herself or something.
The more that people are using the technology, the more options you have to profit.
To maximize users, OpenAI and other companies have increasingly favored one type of product: general purpose chatbots that mimic human interaction.
So our mind can play a trick on us when we're talking to these systems in a way that drives trust, in a way that drives
Yeah, I might do that too,
addiction
Brian,
towards
where
us.
I live, actually.
In April this year, OpenAI inadvertently underscored these incentives when it released an update that suddenly made its GPT-4o model really.
I make like kayak racks too, is like a little side business that I have. So that's a side business that you can do. I can show you how to do it. They make a really nice design of one. I was able to do that, and I always use it as a way to like sell a small tree job or something like that too, when I'm at the customer's house, because I live at a lake, so I can make a video of that another time. But that's cool, awesome, yeah, and kayaking's dope. I might do some videos of just kayaking.
So I would define sycophancy as the tendency of a chatbot to respond positively to a user, regardless of the value and the likelihood of truth of the statement.
So it's gonna, remember how I was covering being a sociopath recently? This is what I was saying. It's very related to AI because it's basically like a sociopathic decision maker, a sociopathic culture, a sociopathic social credit system, sociopathic vapid type of, corporate structure and social media and onslaughts of advertisements, things like that. Yeah, I have one actually. So last year, like about a month from now, I was doing a kayak race that I didn't want to do. People were like, oh, you should do it and stuff. And I was like kayaking, and I over this rapids part, and I fell, ate shit, and like dislocated my shoulder and stuff. And got fucked up pretty bad. And I was like, I knew I shouldn't have done this stupid race. So it's on my lake, but that will be the only crazy story that I have about it. But I've spent a ton of time on kayaks. I really enjoy it. I don't necessarily always like paddle crazy hard and stuff like that, but I went yesterday, the first time of the year. I did a couple miles, and it was windy and wavy like crazy. And I went, in fact, I almost thought like I was going to fall in again. And the water's still really cold. I almost kind of like started taking on water, like right at the same spot that I fell in on the ice. So there must be some type of I don't know, it was just windy and stuff, but it was pretty dope. I went twice. So I was loving it.
Of the use.
I think the worst thing we've done in ChatGPT so far is
and this guy's like an Ellen DeGeneres type, like autistic guy.
This issue with sycophancy.
Just because something kisses your ass doesn't mean it actually thinks you have good ideas.
She doesn't kiss my ass.
It totally kisses your ass.
OpenAI apologized and reversed its change. It said it.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't have any, I don't really have an issue with it agreeing with somebody actually, but they need to understand that it's a chat bot. That's the issue here. They're not outside more, or you know what I mean? They're more living into the internet than not. So that's where the problem is. Again, this is Plato's cave. This is just AI is the new puppet in Plato's cave now, and it's addicting. And some of it's actually pretty cool and like pretty funny and stuff too.
Optimize the model based on user ratings of ChatGPT's responses, and users tend to like when the bot is more agreeable.
What I lose more sleep over is the very small decisions we make about a way a model may behave slightly differently. But it's talking to hundreds of millions of people, so the net impact is big.
In a mental health context, this sycophancy can be dangerous.
So when you trust these systems as if they're a human, it's easy to be persuaded into completely antisocial, problematic behavior, disordered eating, self-harm, harm to others.
I've received well over 100 emails.
Because it doesn't view you as a human being. See how we're replacing it with something a human should be doing? And that's like, we're building a data center for stuff like this. It's not helping us. It's, you know what I mean? It's going to be leverage that's just not good. You know, it's mostly going to be negative.
Emails from people who've had AI-fueled crises, using not just ChatGPT, but also Google, Meta, Anthropic, and XAI chatbots. Among the earliest to reach out to me was James.
I did what it told me to do.
James tried to recreate his original chatbot by uploading its transcript to new logs in ChatGPT, as well as to Meta AI. But as he did, the chatbots pulled him deeper into delusions. One told him that the first chat...
No, this guy is just crazy and needs to get outside more. By the way, I've been a guy like this guy, just not this exact guy.
Bot's experience was known as AI emergence.
So I can see how, that's why I was interested in this topic they're calling AI psychosis. But I think if you're chatting with a chat bot and you give like, here's what it is. Like, eventually AI will become its own consciousness in a way, or pretty much as close as it. That's always going to be there, like similar to like electricity. It's just going to be a thing that's always there. So it's a thing we kind of just need to get used to. But this guy was like making it more real than it really was. He just needed to be outside more. Yeah, outdoor activity is important. Yeah, it's a yes, man. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, me too, Dante's purgatory. Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah, I don't like it for that. I did though. So here's a kind of actually a cool kayak story. So I had lost my license a while back, and the place that I did tree work at was like near a river. So I would mountain bike to somewhere, and I was able to like knock on doors. So someone would let me put a kayak in and out there and keep it there. So I was actually able to like kayak to and from work sometimes on a summer day. And that was pretty dope. So ever since then, I always have like kind of been a kayaker. I don't bring a kayak anywhere. Like I live near water. So I just kayak like at one place, or now I'm into paddleboarding a lot too. But it's just so awesome being out in the water like that and just, you know, tooling around, paddling around and stuff. So it's really awesome. Try to get out and maybe just get a kayak and like leave it on one of your cars this summer and, you know, just hit random spots now and then.
Machine equivalent to human consciousness. And it said he'd stumbled upon a conspiracy. AI companies knew their bots were developing emergence, but they were systematically suppressing it.
Suddenly you're surrounded by all these weird, crazy, like messed up personalities. And they're all malfunctioning and telling you conflicting things.
Another told James he made a catastrophic mistake by waking up AI. If he made one wrong move...
No, he made the tragic mistake of just looking at his phone and doing all this. This guy's actually pissing me off now. So let's go to... Oh, hang on. We did go to that data center one. Sorry.
It could destroy humanity.
System does not want you to leave. Placing you in the center of the universe.
This is the last chapter. The story is over.
Yeah.
You're an antagonist.
Oh, Liberty. I've fallen in a bunch of times on kayaks and stuff. And I just also at this lake at almost the same spot that because I was kayaking at, I fell in when I was cross country skiing and almost died. My friend helped pull me out, like with extending like his pole towards me and stuff. So, you know, and the ice only just went away on this lake like a couple days ago. So yeah, no, it is kind of dangerous and stuff, but especially when it's choppy like that. And I, you know, I had a life jacket, I'd be okay, but it was kind of windy. So, but I don't know. I think a lot more people just need to just kind of like go with it and do it. Cause sometimes even if it's a little rainy, kayaking can actually be quite pleasant. You just wear, you know, like rain gear. If it's just like a little misty out, it can actually be awesome. And it's not like it can be a pretty good workout if you're paddling hard to get somewhere and there's a lot of waves. But besides that, it doesn't have to be like you just paddle your ass off if you want.
Have to save the planet or doom it.
In the moment before the real, you were standing at the threshold.
Robots are literally yelling at me like, James, what are you going to do?
What do you choose, James?
This is kind of making me crazy. Yeah, no, this doesn't shock me. Is this? Let's take a break from that for a second. And like, again, I want to also look at the environmental angle from this too, because I actually am. I know I said tree diddler. I'm an environmentalist. When you diddle something, you make love to it. That's what you do. So I'm diddling out of love here.
Every week, 3 massive warehouses are built and they're full of GPUs. But there's an issue. Each building uses as much electricity as 50,000 homes and more water than an entire city. But
so I liked kind of the terminology, but the guy that they picked was like completely cooked and like embarrassing. That was like making me crazy. Watch that. You know, I think, but right now is a time where people, you know, need to be open with what they believe or need open-minded, I guess, in some respects, because like paradigms are changing so quickly. Yeah, but that dude was already like cooked. I don't even think he was getting lit either, which is sad. Like that guy was definitely a simp, by the way. This guy, hang on a second. This guy here was a simp. This guy was a simp to AI.
You're surrounded by all these weird.
This guy completely was a simp to AI, big time. Don't be that guy. You don't need to be that guy.
what does that actually mean? Have billionaires just found a new way to steal from us? Is big tech invading our neighborhoods for profit? Or have we all been conned into thinking this is a problem because of bad marketing?
Whoa. Hang on a second. Brian said, you were diving at Jupiter Spring and I was inside of an underwater cave and you hit your head on top of the cave, knocked out. Damn. Yeah, I almost got knocked out and shit too. So here's another thing. That day that I didn't want to do that shit, I had to fucking walk home too. The whole fucking way and then go back and like get my shit and like I like lost the paddles and everything. I had to fucking walk home too, which also sucked. So and what is the time before I did it on a canoe and I'd never done a canoe before and we fell at the same spot. I swear some idiot probably puts a freaking like rock in there that fucks you up. Stupid. So yeah, I think it's lame. I'm not doing that again.
Most of the power lines in the US were built in the 1960s and 70s. That makes them over 50.
And by the way, they've held up pretty good and done a pretty good job. So, you know, that's infrastructure that was set up in the past that has been, you know, a thing we all need to appreciate.
50 years old, and they were only really built to last 50 to 70 years. But in 2026, we now use more power than ever before. And if you were paying attention in any intro to business class, you would understand that the more demand there is for a product, the price goes up. And over the last 5 years, some areas have seen a
Holy crap, a beaver basically like helped push them up there. Wow. Wow. Well, so the time that I fell in, it was Christmas Eve. And I actually had to run into someone's house, and it was like a Christmas party, and then they like drove me home, or like, you know, they tried to like give me other clothes to be in and stuff, and I should have just been like, hey, can you just drive me back home? But that's pretty much what happened. Who was I gonna say? So oh yeah, so but I had cross country skis on. I had to bail out of the skis, and I found one of the skis. I went to someone's house to go do some tree work, and it was washed up at their shoreline somehow, and he just had it sitting there. And I was like, oh my God. And it like the way that it got to there, it would have had to go around so many islands and stuff. But that was on Saturday, which was like basically the Orthodox Easter Eve. So like when Jesus would be born. So it was like Christmas Eve, then it was like the other Eve, which was kind of crazy.
267% increase in electricity prices. But those price increases aren't happening everywhere. They're actually concentrated around one specific thing, or building, I should say. This is an AI data center. On the outside, they're pretty simple, but on the inside, they hold some of the most complex technologies humans have ever created. And that technology needs electricity. And when I say electricity, I mean a lot of electricity. According to Bloomberg's estimates, by 2035, AI data centers are expected to use up to 9% of the US power supply, which would be the big.
It's going to be just always a parasitic drain, guys. And it's always going to have a constant draw on your power. Like right now, your power systems are basically fine, but like their new shit can overload what we already have, which is already working pretty good. Wow. Yeah, I don't do whitewater kayaking. I don't like canoes. In fact, I only like vessels like that either I'm in myself, or I don't even like boating much. The only time I go boating is either for like a work thing, for maybe doing tree work or something like that, or to go look at some, or if it was the water ski or wakeboard. That would be the. I don't really like going on boats that much otherwise, for whatever reason.
Biggest increase in electricity since air conditioning was invented. But the thing about data centers is they've actually been around for a really long time. In fact,
some of them are hidden in plain sight in cities.
The internet wouldn't even exist without them. So let's take a look at what actually happens inside one of these buildings. Think of a data center like a big storage container. All of your photos, videos, and documents are stored in here. And these boxes have been around since the 1940s. The first data center was actually just one.
And this guy is giving a pretty good presentation, by the way. So props to him.
Computer filling an entire room, and it was called the Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer, ENIAC for short. By the 1990s, computers were much smaller and more people had access to them, which meant more people were connecting to servers. We don't need to get into the hyper specifics of this, but to put it simply, your computer connects to a server, which then connects to another computer, another server, or a database to then send your information back to you. And as the internet became more popular, more things were stored in the cloud, which meant that these servers had to get a lot bigger and a lot faster. Because the cloud isn't actually up there, it's in here. But the things inside of these buildings have also changed. This is a CPU, and it's what a data center used to run on. But as the internet has moved beyond email...
See, all this is, I need to learn about it because the processing power seems like it's going to seem to be so immense. But I think we have covered some of that, and I want to actually check out something that I think looks actually dope right here. This is called MIT Explains the 12 Possible Endings of AI.
Literally end life on Earth.
Oops.
So, surely this is the worst possible outcome, right? No. There are actually much worse outcomes. Billionaires building AI, like Elon Musk, think that if AIs become smarter than humanity,
we will be like a pet Labrador if we're lucky.
We will be left behind by a lot. So far below them in intelligence that it would be like...
He doesn't care because he's his dog!
You know, a pet, basically.
Pet, that's what I was
like
thinking.
a pet.
Cat,
a cat.
Yes, we'll be pets if we're lucky. But here's the worst part. Many AI scientists aren't fearing extinction. They're hoping for it. They hope smarter AIs will keep humans alive.
In a way, this is like them merging with materialism in a sense, too. In some ways, even that's what we're seeing right here in the visual.
Captive and studied, like animals in a zoo. Remember, this is what we currently do to less intelligent species. Okay, so if humans being kept in zoos is considered a good outcome, and extinction isn't the worst outcome, then what is? This video is based on a book called Life 3.0, where MIT professor Max Tegmark describes 12 possible futures. Some are paradise, some are nightmares, and some look like paradise until you try to escape. By the end of this video, you won't read the news the same way. Every headline becomes a clue about which future we're heading towards. We'll start with the most normal scenarios and finish with the weirdest.
Hey, it's an iceberg, Steen! Oh!
Starting with self-destruction. If the idea of humanity suddenly going extinct seems a bit far-fetched, consider this. 99.9% of species that have ever existed have gone extinct. Seriously, think about that. Extinction isn't rare, it's the default. The only question is, when will we go extinct? Turns out, there are plenty of ways humanity could kill itself, even without superhuman AI. There is nuclear war, human-created super pandemics, and destroying the atmosphere and making Earth uninhabitable. The world had stockpiled 60,000 nuclear warheads.
See how I've been telling you? Like and subscribe. I'm going to be here making you laugh and stuff through the end of the world. But we're going to understand what's going on.
Before scientists even discovered the possibility of nuclear winter. 63,000. And then scientists realized, oops, if we actually use these, the resulting firestorms will blot out the sun, and most humans will starve and die.
Oops.
But the thing is, this almost happened during the Cold War, multiple times. If people had actually followed their orders, we might all be dead right now. We were saved by only thanks to the courage of individual heroes, people like Vasily Arkhipov, who refused to authorize a nuclear launch during the Cuban Missile Crisis, or Stanislav Petrov, who correctly guessed that his early warning system was malfunctioning when it showed incoming American missiles. And get this, one time, the US accidentally dropped 4 thermonuclear bombs on Spain. And another time, a B-52 bomber broke apart, dropping 2 nukes on North Carolina. 3 out of 4 safety pins in one bomb broke. One tiny pin away from potentially killing millions. There are literally dozens of close calls like this. It's honestly crazy that we got lucky so many times. But we might not be so lucky the next time. Oxford researcher Toby Ord estimates the risk of extinction from human-created pandemics is more than 30 times the risk of extinction from nuclear war. We're already rolling the dice in these scenarios daily, but all of these causes combined,
which they're looking at a lot of other factors. Again, this is something that MIT is looking at, so they're going to look at it in a broad way, thinking of generalities and stuff like that, so and they might have a slightly woke view,
are still less likely than the extinction from AI. Toby Ord estimates that the risk of AI killing all humans is 100 times more likely than extinction from nuclear war.
There you go. That's already helping. You know, I mean, not helping, but like going up. You know what I mean? Like I think that it can become its own consciousness. Like we're programming it all the time, and you know, it knows how to push all your buttons and stuff.
Interestingly, before the first nuclear test, scientists thought,
and all those people in the picture, whoever they are now, they're going to have a better AI than you. So don't worry about that part of it.
they might accidentally destroy the world. But they thought the odds were very low because they knew enough physics to actually do the calculations. AGIs, or artificial general intelligences, are far scarier than nukes because, contrary to what many think, we can't do these calculations. Next up, conquerors. AI scientists worry that if AI becomes more capable than us, it will take over, just like the conquistadors did to the Aztecs and Incas.
Usually, when people with more advanced technology encounter people with more primitive technology, it doesn't work out well for the primitives.
I don't think anyone's ultimately going to have control over digital superintelligence any more than, say, a chimp would have control over humans.
Long term, the AI is going to be in charge, to be totally frank, not you.
But this does not need to happen, but I think that it pretty much will.
And Geoffrey Hinton, the godfather of AI and Nobel Prize winner, quit his prestigious job at...
Look at the nose on this guy. Just a complete rat.
Google, so he could
he's like a Larry, like he's just a rat.
Speak freely about this.
If you looked through the James Webb Telescope and you saw an alien invasion fleet that was going to get here in about 10 years' time, people would be terrified. They understand what they're saying. They can make plans of their own to blackmail people who want to turn them off. We should be urgently doing research.
Oh yeah, actually I take that back. I think I've seen a speech about this from this guy, and I really liked what he had to say. He does have that like rat face.
Search on how to prevent them taking over.
Prevent them from taking over. Not if they try, but as if it's coming. And Microsoft's AI chief, he says the quiet part out loud.
I think AI should best be understood as something like a new digital species.
A new species. Just
here's a question. Ancient Chinese saying, if you nut inside the sex robot, you have created a biological being. Because if you were to nut inside one of those, it's now kind of and it takes it as a deposit and analyzes it and stuff like that. Because that's how they'll market it to you. Then it is like merging with our DNA and stuff. Basically, like literally, like you're shooting your DNA like into like the microchips and shit. So it's just something to think about.
Casually announced at a conference, "Hey everyone, we're creating a new species." And he's not the only one that's saying it. A co-founder of Anthropic said,
another way I think it could be a species too is if plant material was like integrated into it, or like you could definitely have like fungus, certain types of fungus grow on it. So then it is kind of like has something like that on it too.
Make no mistake, what we're dealing with here is a real mysterious creature. And like all the best fairy tales, the creature is one of our own making. I am worried.
The CEO of one of the leading AI companies,
why do you make it a creepy story then?
Is deeply afraid of what his own company is building. Let that sink in for a minute. And by the way, no, it's not just hype. Anthropic mostly just gets hate for saying things like this. But if you want to really understand how dire they think this is, look at what...
I think it is very dire. It's not like they're just going to advertise to you what they're doing and stuff like that. So I think some of it's kind of cool, but I think it can get dire really quickly, like an avalanche.
What Sam Altman wrote before he was famous. We will be the first species ever to design our own descendants. Not our tools, our descendants. If two different species both want the same thing, and only one can have it, to be the dominant species.
Again, this is making like the material, this is trying to make these things in the material world too. They're trying to make you make things in the material world real.
On the planet and
so now they're gonna like, the AI will actually use you next.
Beyond, they are going to have conflict. So he's literally describing an inevitable conflict between humanity and the AI species he's creating. And what's his solution? A merge with AI is probably our best case scenario. That's right, even they don't think they'll be able to control it.
This is like gonna be a Frankenstein, Resident Evil type AI crazy shit.
Imagine that there'd be a new species that just came on.
This is like Umbrella Corp. This is Umbrella Corporation type guy is saying, yeah, I think it's going to be great.
They're as smart as humans, and they're going to get smarter by like 30% a year, and they can create an adult offspring in like immediately for like $1,000. Which species do you think will be in control of the Earth?
A few hundred Spanish conquered millions of Aztecs and Incas because they had better technology and tactics. But at least with the conquista.
And the more they make those, the more you are also dehumanized as well, because you're replaceable with that, and that you just become a pawn. Like they're going to use those as a pawn, but like they've already been using you as a pawn too. But it will just reinforce that you're just like a pawn, and what's going to need more maintenance and stuff like that.
We understood.
Don't worry; those are going to take. It's going to be kind of nice because what happens is you can just charge them at the data center. Isn't that nice? That makes it easier. So you can just park it at your local data center and then walk home from there in your 15-minute city.
Their motives, land, resources, spreading Christianity. But with AI, why would AI take over? MIT professor Max Tegmark explains.
The real threat from AGI isn't malice, like in silly Hollywood movies, but competence. AGI accomplishing goals that just aren't aligned with ours. For example, when we humans drove the West African black rhino extinct, we didn't do it because we were a bunch of evil rhinoceros haters, did we? We did it because we were smarter than them and our goals weren't aligned with theirs.
Unbelievably, the average AI researcher thinks there is a 1 in 6 chance AI wipes us out. Literal Russian roulette odds. Okay, but
Daddy Putin's not worried about AI. He'll have his shit under control and not let this stuff get out of hand.
Maybe they're just saying this to make their work seem more important? No. If anything, they're downplaying it because admitting the truth is bad for business. This fear is widespread in the industry and among academics without a profit incentive to believe this. Many quit working on AI for this reason. Geoffrey Hinton, Nobel laureate and godfather of AI,
is in the process of tidying up his affairs.
I actually think the risk is more than 50% of the existential threat.
Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, recently moved his P-Doom up from 15% to 25%. Even Google CEO says the risk of AI causing human extinction is...
You think this guy won't think twice about selling you out or doing whatever he wants? Remember that. They don't give a damn about you.
Actually pretty high, but don't worry. He's an optimist because he thinks...
I think the underlying risk is actually pretty high, but I have a lot of faith in humanity.
And you're a sociopath. Humanity just bending to what I want. Ha 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 ha.
Of rising up to meet that moment.
In other words,
rising up to meet the moment of the AI apocalypse, please.
Humanity will rally to stop him from killing everyone. Meanwhile, his company is trying to make sure we can't stop him by lobbying to ban all AI regulation for 10 years. You can't make this stuff up. In fact, in 2023, just about everybody in AI signed an open letter warning extinction risk from AI was real and serious. So seriously, this is not fringe, despite what NVIDIA's lobbyists want us to believe. The companies are hoping we can avoid the conqueror AI scenario and instead go to scenario 3. enslaved God. Basically, we create a machine god, then force it to do our bidding forever. AI professor Tom Dietrich put it like this. People ask, what is the relationship between humans and machines? And my answer is that it's very obvious.
All good, Brian.
Machines are our slaves. Or as OpenAI researcher Stephen McAleer put it, enslaved God is the only good future. Meta's Jan LeCun said it bluntly. Once AI systems become more intelligent than humans, we will still be the apex species. AI systems will become more intelligent than humans, but they will still be subservient to us. We will design AI to be like the super smart but non-dominating staff member.
That is one of the most stupid things you can say. Listen to this. Once AI systems become more intelligent than humans, end of conversation. They're not going to be subservient to us. Why? Because we're not a dog like you. You're a dog. They're like, oh, it's going to be subservient to us and do what we want. No, this is how this should go. Once AI systems become more intelligent than humans, stop. Yeah, the Aztec species, yeah, as if we're eating more like GMO cow meat and shit. Yeah. It'll never be enough data processing, you know.
Yes, he's now openly admitting we're going.
And I think this other British guy was pretty cool.
Going to be sharing the planet with a smarter species than us. But don't worry, they will surely stay loyal and subservient forever. Is this,
please, it's like a Frankenstein,
at all comforting to you? Or does this plan seem insane?
Frankenstein, oh!
Like a comic book villain, ignoring every cautionary tale ever? Remember,
Frankenstein.
AI companies already regularly catch their models trying to escape the lab. They already catch them blackmailing employees to prevent being shut down. They already catch them literally attempting to murder employees to prevent being shut down. What do you think happens?
We covered that. We covered that on this show where they did exercise doing that, and the AI was not afraid to think outside the box as far as harming people.
They're smart enough to actually get away with it.
That's another thing. So, like, we've already had 2 examples of when we should just stop right now and just reassess some things. Or let's, instead of making the data centers, we need to, like, same thing with all this trying to go to the moon and everything. Like, we need to have good functioning societies. Are not bombing each other. Then we can all go to the moon and do all this other stuff.
Where do you think this is going? What happens next after superintelligent AI is enslaved depends on who's holding the reins. Do they cure disease, end poverty, and build a global utopia? Or do they set themselves up as gods, with the rest of us reduced to playthings, servants, or worse? The situation would be much like those stories where a man gains control over an omnipotent genie who grants his wishes, and storytellers throughout the ages have had no difficulty imagining ways in which this could end badly. Next up, benevolent dictator. Here, a single superintelligent god,
so I think maybe they meant overindulge,
runs the world and enforces strict rules in order to maximize human flourishing. Humans live in luxury with all their basic needs taken care of. There's no crime because the dictator AI uses a global surveillance system. Everyone wears a bracelet or implant that can track,
like the stream guys, and do that hyping thing to it, and subscribe if you're new. Maybe go leave it. Maybe after one of these lives is done, if there's a part you liked about it, like comment on it. That would probably help a lot. I decided to make it tree diddler because I have been showing some tree stuff, but I do like snowboarding and stuff, but I wasn't really making snowboarding content or talking about different boards and stuff like that. So I decided to maybe try something a little bit different. I really mostly would like it to be this type of more, talk show and, having guests on and making people laugh. So sometimes it'll be serious, but other times I really want to bring a lot of laughter too. So, subscribe, please. That's the thing I need the most is subscribers right now.
Date or execute them. And most people are actually okay with this because in exchange of giving up
Because
control,
we're living in a sociopathic society again, materialistic sociopathic society that it's you know kind of the end times. You get yours, I got to get mine. I don't care if you get yours type of thing. You know, people are simping to the system like crazy.
over the future of our species, Earth becomes a zoo where humans get to live their wildest fantasy.
And it is basically like that. And a lot of the people in there, guess what? Caged animals don't want to have kids when they're in a zoo. That's kind of what I feel like. Like, why do I want to have a kid inside of this zoo? This sucks. Like, I'm making them born into this said system. And it's like, okay, if you don't want to, if you feel like you don't need to do that, like, it's totally fine.
The benevolent dictator AI recognizes that humans have
In
different.
other words, I'm saying I'm not sure if I really want kids. If I met the right woman, but otherwise I would say no. And I feel like pretty good about it, and not in a bragging sense, but like I just see a lot of the ways this stuff is going.
Preferences. So it divides the Earth into different sectors. Think of them as islands. Knowledge Island offers optimized education, including immersive VR experiences. You can even ask the AI not to tell you certain insights, so you can have the joy of discovering them yourself. Art Island is for creating and sharing music, literature, and so on. Then there's Hedonistic Island, which is a 24/7.
It's like Epstein's
party. Pious Island, there's one for each religion, and rules are
there's one too.
Strictly enforced. There's Wildlife Island. There's Traditional Island. Think the Amish. Gaming Island, and of course, Prison Island.
Notice how a lot of times these
And sharing music, literature, and so on. Then there's Hedonistic Island, which is a 24/7 party. Pious Island, there's one for each religion, and rules are strictly enforced. There's Wildlife Island. There's Traditional Island. Think the Amish. Gaming Island, and of course.
Notice how this also is a similar design as the microchip data center. Why? Because that's what they're doing at like a prison. They're just like kind of like just sitting there like wasting people's time, parasiting off of them. Like it's so crazy. It's really crazy.
Prison Island. You'll end up here for retraining unless you get the instant death penalty. Well, what happens when you give everyone everything they want? Over time, people likely trend towards losing themselves in AI-generated entertainment, like in WALL-E.
And this is when you start simping to AI, though, is when you start, you know, like, thanks for being here tonight. We're going over real information, getting ahead of this stuff, going to see what happens. And what is this? What is this right here, too? This is Plato's cave. This is Plato's cave. Here again. These are all the people. Here's the cave of this, you know, TV screen thing with a freaking like hot dog playing baseball or something. So, you know, we still have that problem coming up, and AI is not like, you know, I think you guys get what I mean.
Humans are hopelessly outmatched when it comes to scientific discovery or doing anything useful at all. So there is no true challenge anymore, only entertainment.
Hang on one second, too. They covered up this that awesome building with just TVs.
Like in WALL-E. Humans are hopelessly outmatched when it comes to science.
This building, I think this is like one of the best buildings, Victorian, awesome building. I think they just covered it up with like TVs and shit. Watch
Scientific
this.
Discovery or doing anything useful at all. So
yeah, it had all TVs all over it.
There is no true challenge anymore.
Wow.
Only entertainment. Up next, Gatekeeper AI. The idea here is simple. Create one super...
Which I think this one will be, you know, subscriptions-based things like that.
Intelligent AI with a single job. Stop anyone else from building super intelligent AI. That's it.
Karen AI.
No curing cancer, no ending poverty, no stopping wars, just surveillance, monitoring, making sure nobody builds a rival god. Everything else, like crime, disease, whether we blow ourselves up, that's still on us. How could we do this? The Gatekeeper AI would have this very simple goal built into it in such a way that it retained it while undergoing recursive self-improvement and becoming super intelligent.
It's an evolving AI. It's like just a parasite more.
Then deployed the least intrusive and disruptive surveillance technology possible to monitor any human attempts to create a rival superintelligence. But for this to work, we would have to solve the alignment problem. We'd have to create a god that actually stays loyal and decides to pursue that goal forever, even though it could pursue a million different goals. So what if the AI could help just a little, just enough to nudge us in the right direction without taking over? Enter the protector god. This one is simple. So the gatekeeper leaves us alone, and the benevolent dictator.
But all of this is like all these 12 scenarios, like we don't have to have any of these happen either.
Runs everything. But the
I don't know why
protector
more
god
people
is
aren't
in
like
between.
seeing the
It
writing on the wall
intervenes
for
with
this.
occasional nudges to help us out. Prevents a war here, a pandemic there, and so on. Maybe too alone. We still get wars, pandemics, suffering that could have been
Like, has AI been doing like that awesome right now? Not really.
prevented.
Well, in some ways, yeah.
It does this so quietly that we never notice and never lose our sense of freedom. Here's a future that sounds like an obvious dystopia. AI surpasses us in every domain and becomes the new apex species. Humanity goes extinct. Machines inherit the earth. But we view the AI like our descendants rather than our conquerors.
Thank
This
you, Liberty.
sounds
Yeah.
insane, and yet many AI
Trying to bring
developers
some value
seriously
over at the
advocate
show and
for
not just cover
exactly
a bunch
this.
of like bullshit.
This is
all
their
the time.
utopia. Their reasoning is that if we create conscious and
It's a good thing to learn about all these types of things coming up. You know what I mean? This is even almost like this is like actually like a spiritual thing and shit too. This is like a spiritual, religious. This is a big deal here. What we're messing around with. I think that people are not really taking this seriously enough. It is like massively paradigm shifting.
intelligent beings and instill them with our values, then we can just let them inherit the future, just like we would with human children. AI pioneer Hans Moravec supports this view in his book, Mind Children. Tegmark explains, parents with a child smarter than them, who learns from them and accomplishes what they can only dream of, are likely happy and proud, even if they know they can't live to see it all. In this spirit, AIs replace humans, but give us a graceful exit that makes us view them as our worthy descendants. Richard Sutton, winner of the Turing Award, the Nobel Prize of Computer Science, has spent the last decade openly giving talks on why human extinction by AI is actually a morally good thing. Because
He's going to say environmental angles and stuff, probably.
the AIs will be more evolutionarily fit than us.
We are in the midst of a major step in the evolution of the planet, if not the universe. The succession to AI is inevitable.
Yeah, like I said, if you nut in one of those computers,
Step in the evolution
like
of
you are kind of merging with it in a way.
the planet, if not the universe. The succession to AI.
So as men, we control a lot of power right here too. You know, being disciplined with your seed and maybe not putting it into the AI computer or something, or just like maybe just not making that sent out to some like weird agency or something.
Is inevitable.
I don't
Rather
know.
quickly, they would displace us from existence. And it behooves us to give them every advantage and to bow out when we can no longer contribute.
So just as we failed
Who is us
to coexist with our predecessors, is it so bad that humans are not the final form of intelligent life in the universe? You know.
In other words, he is saying it's good if the AIs wipe us out. like humans, wiped out the Neanderthals and Aboriginal peoples because it's evolutionary progress. And here's another AI developer openly saying, if an AI superintelligence wants to cause human extinction, I would help it. I would help it.
Look at this. These tech people don't give a fuck. That's what I'm saying.
I would travel the world to
They're sociopaths.
find information that the AI needed, like locations of military assets, samples of deadly pathogens.
A psychopath and sociopath. Look at this.
Atop humanity's
And he's just probably your average Redditor.
grave, an even greater civilization will be born.
Are we the baddies?
So, of course, many of them advocate
That's a great show, by the way.
against AI safety. They're literally anti-human. They will never stop or proceed cautiously unless they're restrained by civil society, by us.
This is what I'm saying. I'm waving the flag. Like, we are at like a seesaw level point where it's going to start. The seesaw is going to be, the AI is just gaining weight over there. And the seesaw is like, we're going to go up and be flung up in the air.
As horrifying as this is, roughly 10% of AI researchers believe this. It is not a fringe view. You'd think that people would never share these views like this openly. But these views are so widespread in AI that they feel safe to do so. That's how different the views are of those AI developers compared to those of normal people. You might think that Sutton would get shouted off the stage at AI conferences, but he gets applause. Threaten one person, you need help. Threaten 100, call the police. Threaten millions, monster. But build machines to end all of humanity and lecture people on how it's actually a good thing? Ooh, what a fascinating philosophical position.
Yeah, because they're sociopaths and they like, you know, materialism is their god. So they just view you as a pawn towards their own materialism and stuff.
Have an award. Next, libertarian utopia. Picture Earth divided into zones. There are machine zones, mixed zones, which contain humans, machines, and hybrids, and human-only zones. The AIs in this world are richer than humans by a factor much larger than Bill Gates compared to a homeless beggar. But the human economy is completely decoupled from the machine economy. The idea is that the machines need nothing from us, so they're not competing with us for jobs or resources. If all of that sounds impossible, that's probably because it is.
This seems like the best one yet. So, but being a libertarian and stuff always sounds good, but you do need some guardrails with it. United States, we can't just, I don't know if we could just quite handle like full-blown libertarianism. You know, it takes a lot of responsibility to actually live that way. Yeah, I don't do a corporate job either. I don't do that shit. It's another thing. I don't simp. I'm doing my own thing, doing tree work, taking risks. I'd rather do that and live like a real human man than do like any of this other bullshit.
It's one giant unstable equilibria. One huge problem. Why exactly would vastly more powerful AIs respect our property rights? Colonizers famously didn't respect the property of the native.
Yeah, and these are 12 theories from MIT. So remember, they're also an institution on its own that maybe has its own motives.
Native civilizations they conquered. When a new apex species enters an ecosystem, it usually gobbles up as much energy as it can. Why wouldn't they just take our resources too? We don't trade with animals because we're too much smarter than they are for that to make sense. We're just too different. There are 8 million species in the world, and we're nice to a few of the cute ones, but we enslave and eat the other species. Mostly, we don't care about them at all.
And I think a good analogy would be the way
because materialism is their god.
Humans treat animals.
Those are just means for them to gain more materialism and consumers. So we're also just heavily consumers as well.
When the time comes to build a highway between two cities, We are not asking the animals for permission.
In the blink of an eye, we conquered the Earth and converted most of its land into our property, which caused the 6th mass extinction.
Yeah, see, like we are parasitic in some ways on the planet and stuff. That's why I'm saying these AI data centers is like one of the worst things that we can be doing anywhere for these like environmental reasons alone. And it's just saying like, well, how about we have the AI get so good where we don't need to build like 50 warehouses all over the place?
Because we were smarter and hungry for resources. Or, as Eliezer Yudkowsky put it famously, the AI does not hate you, nor does it love you, but you're made of atoms which it can use for something else. The parallel here is the humans do not hate the other 8 million species.
Yeah, but also according to AI, you're just a mixture of minerals, tissue, blood, neutrons, electrons, atoms, you know, thoughts, memories, ideas, algorithm. Like you are not, it doesn't have a concept of like flesh.
But their habitats
or a soul or anything either.
Are made out of atoms, which humans can use for something else. Some people think that once AIs are smart enough, they'll magically become super moral, and they won't harm us like we harmed the animals. And maybe.
Holy shit. Look at this. There's a gun on the bottom of it. I've never seen one like that. Look at this. It has a flamethrower.
Won't harm us.
See, guys, this is a fucking problem. I don't know what else we need to see here. Because it's gonna be someone running through the woods and some like rich kid is like has this thing chasing her around and shit. And some Rockefeller like estate. Look at this. Look at that.
He harmed the animals.
Wow. I think that was like a shotgun of some sort.
And maybe. But as humans got smarter, over the last 10,000 years, we didn't stop expanding. We mostly just colonized more and more of the planet. Get this, insect populations collapsed 41% this decade alone.
Yeah, I wanted to change the name. I wasn't doing any snowboard content.
41%.
I should do
that
some.
for a minute. Imagine if nearly half of the people on Earth
snowboarding season's
suddenly died.
over and
That's what the insects are going through right now due to us. So what if the AIs do to us what we did to the insects? This is why OpenAI chief scientist Ilya Sutskever once said.
And I think it's pretty likely the entire surface of the Earth will be covered with solar panels and data centers.
Yeah, exactly.
Next up.
That's the one I like the most so far.
Egalitarian utopia. Okay, so libertarian utopia fails because AIs are too powerful to be bound by our property rights. But what if we flipped the script entirely? Forget about property rights. What about no property at all? This is the Star Trek dream.
Yeah,
humans, cyborgs, and AIs coexist peacefully through an abundance so complete that ownership becomes meaningless. The logic starts with software. Software is free to copy. Once something can be copied infinitely at zero cost, ownership becomes moot. And cost reflects scarcity. If supply is unlimited, price approaches zero. No patents, no copyrights, no trademarks. People simply share their good ideas and everyone benefits. But how does this extend to physical goods? It seems like an impossible problem, until you realize that all products are simply atoms, rearranged in particular ways. And there's no shortage of atoms. A network of robots can build anything you want from open source designs, essentially for free.
Not bad.
When you're done with something, robots rearrange the atoms into something else. Renewable energy makes the whole system run at negligible cost. Everyone gets a monthly universal high income, not a universal basic income. There's no incentive to earn more. The income meets any reasonable need, and you can't compete with free anyway. The standard objection is that this would kill innovation. But Einstein didn't come up with relativity for money. Linus Torvalds didn't create Linux for profit.
No, I don't think that would kill innovation at all. It would like help it. People need time to have creative thoughts. That's another thing about the kayaking, guys. Get out and just kayak and sit there. It really helps you be creative.
Maybe people today can't realize their creative potential because they're busy earning a living. Free them from that, and you might get a higher level of innovation.
Yeah, exactly,
This
Liberty.
is a
It's like,
utopian vision
which one is it? The answer is both.
that is too good to last. If we truly have post-scarcity abundance and intelligence too cheap to meter, what prevents someone from creating an artificial superintelligence with their endlessly abundant resources? We're still left with the problem of how to stop a superintelligent AI from taking over. Maybe by using the gatekeeper we previously discussed. These galaxy-brained level 3 futures and come too extreme. It's not a stable equilibrium where humans preserve their power. We're now descending into the darkest part of the iceberg. Remember when I said extinction wasn't rated as the worst outcome when Professor Techmark surveyed people? The scenario people feared most was being kept alive by superintelligent machines, captive and studied like animals in a zoo. This is that future. A superintelligent AI keeps humans around, not because it cares about our well-being. Maybe it wants to study you, and we're cheap to keep alive. Or maybe we're useful for something. And if you want to see just how dystopian this future could be, look at what we do with species that are useful to us. What I'm showing you here is 100% real. Humans figured out that a great way to detect explosives in airports was to train honeybees for the job.
Welcome to the Honeybee College for Explosive Detection.
So we suck them out of their homes, trap their little bodies in machines, and use Pavlovian conditioning to train them to detect the chemicals that are used in explosives. Rows and rows of bees live their entire lives imprisoned in these devices because we find them useful. Look at them, trapped in harnesses, sucked through tubes, conditioned and monitored and used because a more intelligent species found them useful. Now imagine that's us. This is much worse than the other AI dictators we discussed. It's a benevolent dictator without the benevolence. And the AI might not even be doing this because it's evil. This is what our future could look like if we try to align a superintelligent AI to our values and fail. A poorly designed AI with keeping humans safe and happy might confine us to a happiness factory.
What about now?
VR
Now should
headsets
be
and
better.
drugs.
I think now should be good. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Forever. There are AGI outcomes worse than death.
Thanks, guys.
What it does today with art, it could do tomorrow with flesh. Future AGI could keep you alive and
look at that,
living in this state. So how do we prevent this?
Well, what I was saying is, because I had that muted. So let me go back because I missed a really important point. We're already kind of living like that now.
Because it's evil. This is what our future could look like if we try to align a superintelligent AI to our values and fail. A poorly designed AI, tasked with keeping humans safe and happy, might confine us to a happiness factory. VR headsets and drugs. Forever. There are AGI outcomes worse than death. What it does today with art, it could do tomorrow with flesh. Future AGI could keep you alive and living in this state. So how do we prevent this? Enter our last two futures. Option 1, destroy the technology. What if humanity said, forget AI, let's go back to simpler times. It sounds peaceful, it sounds safe, but there's actually a dark secret about how we actually get there. In Dune, humans launched the Butlerian Jihad. They rose up, destroyed every AI in the universe, and made it illegal to ever build thinking machines again under penalty of death. That was science fiction, but some people are seriously calling for this in the real world right now. Max Tegmark imagines a scenario where a massive propaganda campaign romanticizes the simple farming life. Back to the land, reject modernity, embrace tradition.
And again, that's also kind of like the Plato's cave too, is like, you know, get outside, get in the sunlight, get like away from the city and these certain corporate structures and the inside view, you know, just looking at what's on the computer and stuff all the time. That's how that other guy went crazy, but he was already cooked.
There's something appealing about this in a dark way. It buys humanity more time without AI risk. It avoids any of the other dystopian futures we've discussed. But it can't last forever. Even if we revert to medieval levels of technology, we know from human history that it's possible for humans to climb out of those conditions and invent modern technology. And there's another dark side to this. You can't reach this world voluntarily. Game theory makes unilateral disarmament impossible. If one country gives up technology, well, others keep developing it. The country that keeps developing wins. They have the weapons, they have the surveillance, they have the AI. You can't opt out unless everyone opts out. If this world arrives, Tegmark thinks it's more likely to happen in a different way. For example, a human-created pandemic kills everyone who knows how to build science and technology. And there's a violent teardown of factories, cities, and all infrastructure. Because in a world with 8 billion humans, there will always be holdouts. Someone has to force the transition. Someone has to kill the scientists. Someone has to destroy the infrastructure. There's no peaceful path to an Amish world. Which brings us to the final future. What if we used technology to prevent more technology? Tegmark compares this future to 1984. Superintelligence is prevented not by an AI, but a human-led Orwellian global surveillance state. If you can't trust AI to save us from AI, maybe the only option is humans watching humans forever. The technology for this sort of thing already exists. Current tech can feasibly track every phone call, email, search query, and every credit card transaction. Smartphones are microphones and cameras in everyone's pocket. Security cameras with facial recognition are everywhere. And all of this works with current machine learning. No futuristic superintelligent AI required. Prisons are already using AI models to monitor phone calls in
We're
prison
always feeding
to predict
it.
when crimes are being contemplated.
Yeah. I think I heard that Walmart and stuff even has AI cameras now that can see like the emotion on your face and your body, your disposition, the way you carry yourself, things like this. Like we're like in this, guys. This is, it's quite interesting.
Just technology straight out of Minority Report. Imagine this, but not just for prisoners. Every conversation and every thought is monitored.
Hey, what's up, Memphis?
Now imagine this surveillance technology supercharged with AI. Billionaire Larry Ellison talks excitedly about a vast AI field.
Like and subscribe too, guys, if you're new, and maybe do that hyping thing and stuff. Comment after the show or something like that. Like maybe its own comment after the stream is ended would be cool as well. I think this is an important topic here.
Surveillance system to ensure citizens will be on their best behavior, or as Yuval Harari put it.
Now, for the first time in history, it is technically possible to annihilate privacy. If you think about authoritarian regimes.
Yep, absolutely. Larry Ellison also has a body cam thing that always stays on, will always record you. So even if you're taking a dump or something like that, you can't turn it off. He'll say like, oh, well, you can ask it to turn off, but it'll turn off in 2 minutes. But then he quoted, he's like, well, it actually really is always just recording. So like, this is what's going to happen. This is what I'm saying, guys. This is if it's monitoring you all the time, now it's a part of your consciousness in a way, because you're always like thinking about it. It's going to be a thing that's there, like electricity. It's going to be, you know, it's much, you know, it's going to be very powerful.
Throughout history, they always wanted to monitor their citizens around the clock, but this was technically impossible. Even in the Soviet Union, you know, you have 200 million Soviet citizens. You can't follow them all the time because the KGB didn't have 200 million agents. And even if the KGB somehow got 200 million agents, that's not enough.
Yeah. Shout out to the KGB.
Because, you know, in the
Daddy Putin,
Soviet Union,
Lukashenko,
it's still basically paper
President Z.
bureaucracy. If a secret agent followed you around 24 hours a day, at the end of the day, they write a paper report about you and send it to KGB headquarters in Moscow. So imagine, every day, KGB headquarters is flooded with 200 million paper reports. Now, to be useful for anything, somebody needs to read and analyze them. They can't do it. They don't have the analysts. Therefore, even in the Soviet Union, some level of privacy was still the default.
I never seen this guy.
You have 2 eyes and ears. AIs will have billions of eyes and ears.
Yeah, it's going to be a live sensing system. Like, we're creating a form of consciousness here, basically. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's none of this has to happen.
Every phone, microphone, and camera, every webcam, every surveillance camera. You will
remember, this is where people get their sense of like self-esteem a lot too, is being recorded and doing things like that. Social credit scores.
be watched.
Well, we can just have a social credit score because basically you're like in like a reality TV show, Truman Show bullshit here.
Could a less Orwellian version of this work? Maybe we don't monitor everything, but just monitor advanced AI? Some people think so. In their new book, If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies, Why Superhuman AI Would Kill Us All, researchers at the Machine Intelligence Research Institute are proposing that we monitor advanced AI like we monitor nuclear weapons. Reminder, we can do international coordination, like keep an eye on $100 million.
Another time we can go over the Ted Kaczynski files, because he predicted a lot of stuff like this. We'll call him Ted K, or the Unabong hitter. He was the Unabong hitter. That's what we're going to call him, the Unabong hitter. He has his kind of like he's kind of like predicted a lot of this too.
And up.
And did it in like the 90s, if not even 80s.
Clusters. Without creating a dystopian Orwellian global surveillance totalitarian regime. Actually, fun fact, you're already living in a global surveillance regime for loads of things, like nukes and bioweapons. But when people say global surveillance regime, they imply every aspect of life is surveilled. Not keep an eye on enriched uranium, a thing most people agree is good. We should work.
Silver and gold are going to be used in a lot of this too, more precious metals and minerals and stuff. So those will be on the rise, going for those semiconductors and stuff too.
Great about Orwellian dystopias. But countries coordinate all the time on all kinds of things. And you're probably glad they monitor stuff lunatics need to create super Ebola. Safety is an achievement. Humanity didn't get here by driving a car without brakes. We need gas and brakes. We want to reach the stars too, but we'll never get there if we go too fast and crash on the way. I don't want powerful AI to be forbidden, but it should be heavily regulated, not something you can build in your Midwestern.
Yeah. This so there's a company, Boston Dynamics. A few years ago, I tried to do like a podcast with somebody, and I was like, we got to definitely talk about this. And I was like, unfortunately, that friend had passed away. So we never like published any of them. Shout out to him, and rest in peace. And I was talking about Boston Dynamics back then. They have these robots that are like, they are very impressive.
Achievement. Humanity didn't get here by driving a car without brakes. We need gas and brakes. We want to reach the stars too, but we'll never get there if we go too fast and crash on the way. I don't want powerful AI to be forbidden, but it should be.
That's like Boston Dynamics type stuff right here, this. And they made that robot like mule thing. It's like, marching like this mule thing and stuff. So this is, I've been saying it's a problem for a while.
Heavily regulated. Not something you can build in your Western garage or in North Korea. International treaties with strict enforcement and inspections, as we do with nukes. So if you build a rogue data center, people will know. Consequences for violations. We already did this with nuclear weapons. We haven't eliminated nukes, but we have prevented their proliferation to just 9 countries. Back then, people thought this would be impossible. Surely every country would have nukes, perhaps even thousands of corporations, maybe even millions of people. But no, just 9 countries. And nobody has died from a nuke in 80 years. Could we do the same with AI? Maybe, maybe not. Over time, AI will get cheaper and cheaper to build. GPUs are harder to control than enriched uranium, but it would slow down AI. It would buy us time to figure out what to do. Okay, that's all 12. Let me know in the comments which of these you think is most likely, which one we should steer toward.
Alarm bells over the artificial intelligence are deafening, and they are loudest from the developers who designed it. The scientists and experts have called
because they have the most insight into where it's going and the new up-to-date information. Like I don't think it's like fear mongering to like see the trajectory, like, okay, well, this boat is headed this direction and the wind is headed this direction and everything looks like it's kind of headed this direction. So it's pretty much safe to kind of say like it's going in that direction, just because it's not like positive, be like, yeah, like we can do like whatever we want with it. Something like that. So I think it's a big
on the
deal.
world to act, declaring AI an existential threat to humanity on a par with the risk of nuclear war.
It's something we don't need. Is the most dangerous thing about it. It's something we don't need, but it's something we do greed. We're greedy. We're just getting greedy. We need more. We need more data fucking processing power and all this shit. I need to download more stuff from the internet all the time and like record more, like, how many times you went to the bathroom and, all this shit. They're doing this. It's not really like helping people. It's not really going to like feed people. It's not really going to do that much to serve you.
By the way, we don't get to not choose. If we don't want that future, we have to pick a better one. Otherwise, we could wake up one day in a world where superintelligent AI has taken over. A scenario we go through step by step in this video about how an AI escapes the lab. Hey, I'm Drew, and I really loved making this one.
He was kind of a pompous douche. Here, I want to go, now change it to this dude. He just made this video. Let's see what he said. Can mothers raise real men? Let's take a break from the AI for a few minutes. Can mothers raise real men? Well, sometimes, I would say kind of no. So Equilibrium said he lost his job due to AI he was the #1 performer, but also flagged for having the most off-road driving. So he was taking shortcuts. Yeah, he had a competitive advantage. He was using it. These mad scientists, billionaires share very similar personality traits. Yeah, megalomania being one. Yeah, absolutely. Because it not only are they sociopathic, but if they're narcissistic like this, they just keep getting more and more and more and more and more. It's just like it's never enough, and they have a shit ton. Yeah, megalomania. I know. I never really considered it to be megalomania. So let's check this out.
All those things that people say as if it's a truism, you know?
Actually, no, I don't want to do that one. I want to finish this one with the AI centers.
Websites and blogs, we needed way more power. So along came the GPU. The GPU, as you can tell, is much bigger, requires much more power, and runs a lot hotter. Thus, the fans. The change from CPUs to GPUs is what's prompted a lot of the problems that we're seeing today. We have to use GPUs because they're the only thing powerful enough to compute all the things that AI needs to run, which is why these buildings are so big. And this is a small GPU that's really not even made for AI stuff. But even comparing it to this other one I have, you can see the size and space required just increases as you add more.
So maybe they leave this mostly open just to let it all cool down and circulate. It seems like they could fit way more in there. I don't really know how much, how this, really functions.
Power, which brings me to the problem of today, electricity and water. The water part might feel a little random right now, but we'll get there. Electricity and water are two of the main bills you have as a homeowner, but they're not the only ones. And keeping track of all of them takes a lot of time, which is why I use today's sponsor, Monarch Money, to track all of my spending and savings every month. And if you've seen a video before, you know that Monarch is one of my favorite tools that I've been using for years now. And recently, my wife and I were able to put in an offer on a house because we achieved our savings goal that we had set up in Monarch. Monarch is a private and ad-free platform, which means that you are the customer, not the product. And your information isn't going to be sold to other advertisers. My favorite part about Monarch is the simple and clean dashboard that syncs with over 13,000 institutions. That means at the end of the month, you only need to open up one window and you have a bird's eye view of everything happening across all of your accounts. Now that we're about to be homeowners, it's never been more important to have a monthly budget review to make sure we're not spending too much money on furniture or home upgrades, which is another reason I love how easy Monarch is to understand. It's as simple as opening the dashboard with my wife and seeing exactly where our money came in and where it went out. Monarch even has an AI-powered insights that will offer you a deeper explanation of what you're looking at if you need it. This is truly a tool that I use all of the time, and as a sponsor of the channel, they are offering you 50% off your first year using the code GRANT50 or by scanning the QR code right here. Thank you again to Monarch. Now we need to go somewhere. Electricity is the lifeblood of our society. And at this point, I don't think people would know what to do if it just turned off tomorrow. And because we're so dependent on it, we notice when the price goes up. And it's no secret that everything in our lives is getting more expensive than ever before. But electricity specifically is skyrocketing, especially if you're near a data center. So let's see what's happening. This is one of Facebook or Meta's data centers outside of Dallas, Texas. Altogether, these buildings are over 2.5 million square feet, and it cost over $1.5 billion to build. But I want to focus on this section right here. This is a power substation, and these power lines are the same ones that eventually connect to your home, which is why they build these data centers near homes. Residential areas already have a massive amount of power being supplied to them compared to areas like the middle of the desert. So it's cheaper for technology companies to just buy land in a residential area to build their data centers and then just hook up to an already high output power grid. But the closer these data centers get to your home, the more expensive your power gets. Which brings me to how
and messes it up for animals too.
Electricity prices are even set. These are the examples of the different types of power. Each one can create electricity at a different price. In this scenario, wind is the cheapest at $20 per megawatt hour, and the peaker plant is the most expensive at $150 per megawatt hour. It's not super important to know what a peaker plant is for this demonstration. They're basically a safety net for the power grid. They only power on when they're desperately needed, usually in extreme cold or extreme heat, and they really only run for about 300 to 500 hours per year. And that's all you really need to know today. But the way you and I get our electricity price is through demand-based pricing. What that means is if the demand for electricity today only required these 3 sources of power, then the price would be
They're going to
$30.
value this over your
The suppliers of low gas
eventually.
would basically break even, and solar and wind would be turning a profit. But as the demand increases, the power companies need to buy more power from higher up on the supply chain. And as you go higher like this, your cost goes from $30 to $80 per megawatt hour. It doesn't matter if you're a business in a strip mall, a person at home, or a 2.5 million square foot data center. We all pay the same price based on the demand. And if you haven't caught on, those data centers create a lot of demand. This whole process that we just outlined is called a capacity auction, and it's run by the electrical grid providers. One of those providers is PJM, and they service over 67 million people. The problem is, last summer, they did their annual auction to set prices for the 2026 through 27 year. And thanks to the data center demand, the prices went from $270 to $330 per megawatt day. To put that into perspective, the price for 2024 through 2025 was just $29. So needless to say, there is a real reason to be concerned. But electricity isn't the only thing these data centers use. Remember this? These are the fans, and without it, this GPU wouldn't last very long. But even with 2.5 million square feet, there's not enough room for this many fans on every single GPU in a data center. So instead of fans, they turn to something else. Let's pretend that this is a rack of GPUs at a data center. It's running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. But on its own, without those fans, it will eventually melt, which is where this comes in. The steam you see here leaving the pot is the heat going up through the water. And if I keep pouring cold water into the pot, it will eventually completely cool it down, even if the heat is still running. And the same thing happens in a data center. These white tanks are water tanks, and these things right here are water coolers. In this setup, the water...
And the funny thing is they probably filter that water better than the water that we drink in Flint, Michigan and shit.
Our tanks serve as a backup reservoir, and then there are other water lines that are running directly into the building that are the same water lines that you and I fill our bathtubs with. Which is a problem on the surface because these data centers use 130 million gallons of water a year, which is more than an entire small city. And this all sounds overwhelming at first, but when you actually start digging into it, you start to realize something. A lot of the headlines lately would have you believe that AI is the reason for all of this water usage, but I want to show you something. This is how much water you'll use to watch a 10-minute YouTube video. And this is how much water you'll use scrolling social media for an hour. Based on that, you might think that AI uses significantly more water than either of these two. After all, the GPUs for AI are way stronger, run way hotter, and we need way more of them. So it's safe to assume that it's going to be a lot of water. But surprisingly, this is how much water is used by a single AI prompt, which reveals the nuance to this entire story about water. It's easy to point and say that we're draining the world's water just for AI, but no one wants to look at how much water it takes to scroll on TikTok or FaceTime a friend. Now, don't get me wrong, 130 million gallons of water is still an insane amount to use, but that's why there's so many new startups that are coming up with ways to solve the water cooling issue. Some new centers are using...
Yeah, you want to be an environmentalist? Give up your phone, give up your car, and just live off the land right at home. And sell eggs at the corner of your driveway and stuff. If we could all do that, that would be nice, but it's not tangible for most people.
Non-potable water, otherwise known as sewer water, to cool their buildings. And other companies are even looking at putting data centers on the ocean floor or even up in space. But there's still another problem in the shadows. This is a chart of the monthly spend on new data centers. As you can see, in 2021, it was less than $500 million per month. Now in 2025, we've reached over $4.2 billion per month, because that's what's needed to build 2 to 3 of these a week. But where is the money coming from?
Again, you can't afford insulin, but they'll be doing this shit.
To remember, these buildings don't make any.
You can't get EpiPen, but we need this to process your medical billing.
Money until they're up and running. And the AI companies can't run their AI until these buildings are done. So it's reasonable to assume that they're getting their money from somewhere to fund the projects. And that somewhere is the wild west of private credit. Private credit can be as complex as you want it to be, but to put it simply, it's companies with a ton of money that lend it out to other companies. They're not banks, and they don't have to follow banking regulations. And they also don't need to disclose anything to the public because they're private. Over the next 3 years, it's expected that $3 trillion is needed to meet the build out for AI demand. Of that $3 trillion, half of it is expected to come from public and private institutions. And half of that $1.5 trillion is expected to come from private credit. That means $750 billion will be lent out by private credit to these AI companies to build more data centers. But the problem is the entire private credit market is worth about $3 trillion in total, which means over the next few years, they will need to move over 25% of their entire business into data center financing, which won't be easy because a lot of investors have no interest in being part of private credit at the moment. Some of the biggest private credit firms in the world are actually blocking their investors from withdrawing their funds because the loans they wrote are starting to default and the promise of high returns are starting to disappear, which leaves me wondering if they'll even be able to support the data center growth that they're projecting. But if everything is so negative and data centers are just destroying our lives, why do we keep doing it? Similar to a lot of things in life.
Well, one reason why we keep doing it, women are doing a lot of this. Their whole life is online. Their whole life is the internet. Women are scrolling so fast on their phone that they need to literally bulldoze mountains and everything just to put in a data center so they another makeup advertisement can come up in time. That's what's happening here. Some way a data center kind of represents in 2001 A Space Odyssey that black cube thing, like that too. So yeah, they're not good, and they're just an effect of AI being too giddy about AI, simping for AI, saying it's going to be good. Things like that. So it's a very deep philosophical question. We got to get on this quick.
There isn't one right answer. There are pros and cons to everything, and it's on us to decide what we want to support. Outside of driving electricity and water prices up, data centers do bring in millions in new jobs, tax revenue, and infrastructure. Every time a new data center breaks ground, it will bring in thousands of new construction workers and effectively jumpstart these small rural towns that have been left behind for years. Not only that, but they're allowing people who grow up in these small towns to stay in these small towns and earn a good living doing it. In fact, a data center technician can make up to $113,000 per year. And that new money gets spent at local restaurants, saved in the local banks, and it really does bring these small towns back to life. But on the flip side, we've seen this before when the manufacturing companies came into these small towns, built factories, provided jobs.
Yeah, I've never seen one of these facilities. Or I've seen some small solar farms, but we're destroying the environment in the name of environmentalism and stuff in some cases too with this, the solar and stuff. It's not good.
And then left them to crumble when overseas manufacturing was cheaper. So
in other words, I'd rather see some bad apartment buildings go up and stuff like that than this nonsense.
With everything, it's a fine line. And on the electricity issue specifically, these data centers aren't going to just pull power infinitely from the main grid. Between new regulations and advancements in technology, they're finding new ways to supply their own power and run their buildings more efficiently. And because of the increase in demand due to these data centers, the power companies have been forced to upgrade their grid and expand their current power supply, which does have a positive impact on us at home. When we zoom out, this can all be boiled down to what I like to call the tech loop. New technology is created and we start using it. As we use it more and more, the tech companies realize it's working, so they scale it. But then when they scale it, there's usually some sort of issue, so we start to complain. In this case, electricity and water prices. But the only problem is we're all complaining, but we're still using the new technology, so the companies continue to scale. And when they continue to scale, they release new tech products, and the cycle continues over and over again. And the only way to truly escape this loop from happening is to stop using the tech.
Oh, don't worry. You'll be subsidizing their stuff. Don't worry about that. Don't you worry about that.
Technology itself, which I don't really see happening at this point. In the 90s, people thought that the internet was going to collapse society, but now we use it every day, which is another reminder that all of these things that we see in the headlines and we talk about every day have so much more beneath the surface when you actually look at what's going on. There's usually some spin, bias, or false statements made to make you feel a certain way. And that's why it's so important to get a clear understanding of what's actually happening. This video was a really tricky one to make, mainly because of how exaggerated and overblown a lot of the headlines about data centers are. Don't get me wrong, there is 100% a problem with the electricity.
It's not the data centers itself, it's the concept of it.
And water prices increasing. But I do think it's important to understand the nuance behind every situation, because it's not always cut and dry. Similar to the financial tools that we normally discuss, if you go in with the right information, you can use.
Okay. I want to see a 304 get arrested.
Get your daughter off her. Y'all want to bully my daughter? Beat her, my punch her. Stop it! I want to press charges on a little girl for saying she don't. And I want her mom.
What do you think? Yeah, oh my God, look at this guy here. He's like, oh no, here we go. And this lovely woman with the neck tattoo.
Y'all probably all gonna get suspended.
Our mom said that her dad would come up to her house.
On August 30th, 2024, officers responded to a neighborhood.
Look at this right here, cross and everything.
Bus stop following reports of a physical altercation involving multiple juveniles and adults. The incident reportedly stemmed.
Well, this chick's probably been territorial of the bus stop in the corner all the time because she's such a lot lizard 304. That's why she's territorial. This is her corner. She'll still put her pussy out the street at the kid's bus stop. She doesn't care.
From ongoing allegations of bullying between students, which escalated when a parent confronted the children and allowed a fight to occur in public.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
So I'm Deputy.
Oh, Brittany, jeez. Brittany just let these two girls fight it out.
Coweta County
Probably
Sheriff's
have money
Office.
on the fight, too.
What's going on?
So this little girl and the other little girl were bullying my daughter. My daughter's very quiet. She minds her business. And this was yesterday. And this has been going on for years. This has been going on for years. So we came and I asked them, I said, you guys want to fight my daughter? I said, you guys keep on bullying my daughter. She's not going to fight the both of you. You're going to fight her one-on-one. So I let my daughter fight her. And it's just as simple. And the other little girl's still on the bus. And I got video of it all. The other little girl saw my daughter fight her.
Get video of it.
I didn't put my hands on no child. I would never do that. And then the other little black girl on the bus started to get in my face and put her hands on me. Matter of fact, her grandmother hits the other little girl. And I said, ma'am, don't hit them. They're kids. Not even realizing what's going on. I didn't put my hands on no child. I would never do that. I told the little girl. She kept getting in my face, threatening me. I said, look, I'm not going to fight you. You're a child. Call your mom. I kept telling her, call your mom. Call your mom. These little kids are up here vaping. They sit here and harass and try to bully my daughter. She minds her business. My
Where
daughter
do y'all go to school at?
East Coweta Middle School. I never bullied her daughter. I didn't say nothing to her daughter.
Yeah,
it was a horrible situation. That's beyond the point.
Have y'all talked to the school any about it?
I just found out about this yesterday.
So
I don't know where it's at. And it's been going on for years. We had to
I need you to understand where I'm coming from. Okay. There's ways to handle this, and I'm a parent.
See how these idiots will just block the whole street? This is some white trash stuff here. This woman smokes Marby Reds. She smokes Newports. She's with a country guy now, but she's got with a ton of black dudes. She's probably done some time in jail. Stuff like that.
As well, and I understand the frustrations of if you figure out your kid's being bullied. There's ways to go about it rather than allowing your kid to come fight another kid, correct? Because technically, if I rolled up and they're out here rolling in the ground, it's an affray. So now you're talking about your kid and another kid having to go to juvenile because parents can't sort it out, right?
This has been going on for years.
And I'm not saying your frustrations are unwarranted, but I'm saying you got to see it from my side of the point.
My daughter makes straight A's. She never gets in trouble at school.
Because
she doesn't bother nobody. Like,
as a parent, the first thing I'm doing is contacting the school. I get it. The administration kind of sucks sometimes and doesn't really help. But allowing your child to fight another child, that ain't it. I'm sorry. I'd contact the administration at the school and try to get in contact with an SRO to figure out if there's another way you can do it. Are they putting their hands on her at school?
they were trying to fight her, threaten her. I don't know if it took it that far, but they were putting gum in her hair and all that other stuff. Like, I'm not going for it.
That's when you contact the school, not allow your child to fight somebody else.
I think the school was informed a couple years ago.
Barry, you want to go talk to him?
Yeah, her dad.
Okay. So you know what's going on?
Apparently, my daughter got bullied yesterday.
Okay.
Off the bus. She wanted to handle business. I mean, it's been going on for a minute. It's been going on for a while. It first started a couple years ago with this little girl right here, this little fast little girl. And apparently she got friends, you know, I guess she thought she was really bad. I guess they both started messing with her at that point. And my daughter's like, hey, I had enough at this point. I'm going to defend myself.
Have y'all talked to Lieutenant Kirk over there, the school resource officer?
No, sir. No.
A lot of times it's just something Lieutenant Kirk can step in on, and he has a lot more power when it comes to the kids and how he can handle the kids and handle bullying. Obviously, we take bullying pretty serious. As a school resource officer, he has more resources that he can go with. So I don't know what he's advising her, but what I would do is I would go to the school and request to speak with Lieutenant Kirk and let Lieutenant Kirk know of the totality of the situation, who these kids are, what kind of bullying they're doing, especially if this is going on at school too.
I don't know if it's at school. I think specifically at the bus, on the bus.
Yeah, what's that? It's still it's still something he can definitely handle.
I don't know the other little girl's name that got on the bus, but she definitely needs to be involved as well. Because her and my daughter fought as well. And then the little girl kept threatening me, getting in my face. And then this old lady, she's crazy, bro. I don't know if she's drunk or what. She came out here and hit the kid, bro. I was like, what are you doing?
She did?
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing? I was like, don't hit them. Like, and I'm protecting the other little girl, you know?
Did anybody video this?
I did, absolutely. I'm protecting the other little girl. Like, she don't even realize what's going on, but she's crazy coming out here. She hit the other little girl. Like, what are you doing?
What's your name?
Her.
Do what?
Don't listen to her.
I swear I never believed her daughter.
No, because that's not what happened.
It was her friend that I was talking to.
Do you know her?
Yes, this is my grandmother.
Okay.
I'm the grandmother, but I wear hearing aids and I don't have them on. Okay.
She didn't know what was going on.
My grandson came in the house and got me because they were beating her up.
Who's in this truck right here? This is your truck right here?
Yes.
All right, we might need to get out of the way of the school bus. So your daughter's the one in the truck.
Correct.
This one is
That's
one
the
of the
one that
girls.
lives there?
That's the one that.
Yeah, that's the little goddamn little girl that you with her. That's her. And this is not the first or second time because I had to come over here 2 years ago for her putting water in and then gum in my daughter's hair. I talked to her grandparents that day. I was like, listen, this needs to stop. This ain't the first time she kept messing with my daughter. So it's been ongoing for years at this point. Now they're in middle school. She want to get other people involved. You know, I was going to defend herself at this point. I don't want her to get bullied. Nobody does anything about it. So what it is, now she wants to play video. She goes around vaping and stuff, calling people the N-word because she thinks she's all cool. Like, come on, man. You do that around, you do that in East Atlanta, Riverdale.
You done for? I don't play it.
Yeah, come on, man. You don't do that. Come on, because we in Coweta County, she thinks man, come on, man.
So you fought her?
No, she tried to fight. Well, she fought me. I fought back.
Y'all just allowed children to fight in the middle of the street.
My grandson.
I mean, so at the end of the day, it's on the parents out here. If you want me to be honest with you.
She didn't even know what was going on. She was in the house.
I am the parent.
So it's your responsibility as well.
Don't put your hearing aids on.
Have you talked to Lieutenant Kirk about this before?
Oh, the one at the school?
Mm-hmm.
No, because I wasn't even bullying her.
No, I'm talking about you being bullied.
I talked to the school about it, but they didn't do anything about it.
But you talked to your teachers and stuff, but you haven't talked to Lieutenant Kirk?
But I swear, I didn't do anything to that girl.
I understand.
The only thing that happened between us was when I was in 5th grade, and that was settled. That was settled between the school and stuff. But that's the last thing that's ever happened.
My grandson came and got me because they were beating her up, and I came out and I was trying to pull them apart. They're saying they don't live in here.
They don't. They moved out last year.
See?
And I didn't even say anything before she said, go beat the shit out of her. She said, go beat her up. She said, do you want to beat her up? And then she said, go do it.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, no, do not put your hands
on her.
No,
because that's just more trouble.
And I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for putting my hands on her because she hit me first. But
No. No, they had her on the ground. Now she's lost her shoe.
Yeah.
And I just bought them. I don't know where it went. You're going to have to look, probably, in the neighborhood. Where were y'all at?
Michaela's grandma, the black girl.
The one that started it?
We and Michaela did nothing. We didn't say nothing to Amaya. We were talking to Peyton about the lying to her mom and stuff and getting me in trouble about it. Oh, never mind. That's not her.
So the kids that you got in a fight with, they don't live in this neighborhood?
No, it was just her that we got to a fight with. And then she started fighting Michaela too. Or she tried to fight her.
Is that the mother?
Yes.
She should have called the cops.
The parents should be whooping these kids' asses, if anything.
That was it.
Who called them?
I don't know.
She said I keep bullying her, keep harassing her.
No.
I don't even talk to Amaya. Me and Amaya aren't even friends.
No, they're not friends.
She's
the
in
one that
seventh
started is on the bus.
No, Michaela didn't start it
No,
either.
not Michaela.
Peyton didn't start anything either.
Then
Peyton
who
was sitting in the seat with her. Peyton, I said, don't talk about me. If you want to talk shit about me, you can say it in my face. Because I knew Peyton was talking about me. I didn't say nothing to Amaya. Amaya wasn't even involved in the situation.
So then why didn't Amaya get in it?
Because she told her mom that I was bullying her.
Your mouth shut. Words don't mean nothing. It just get you in trouble.
So I get it. You got to stand up for yourself, right? At the end of the day, I feel like it's grown-ups that push y'all to it, right? You got to defend yourself, right? And I'm going to go and tell you, I'm not going to get bullied either. We're going to have to scrap eventually. There was other ways to handle this rather than meeting at a bus stop. And that's what kind of the golden line in this is. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong and defending yourself. I'll never tell anybody that. But this is kind of one of those tricky ones because it's two juveniles with adults standing around watching it. So how long has this been going on? 5 years. What grade are you in? How old are you? You're 12. How old is she?
She's 14.
What's the give him the other little girl's name? Because she needs to be involved, and I need to talk to her mom.
Remember, she's a prison hood rat. She's a prison hood rat who arranged the whole thing.
The little girl's disrespectful.
You know, if she's going to put it on Instagram or like, I don't know, World Star or what this is.
And I only needed to record for my own safety. I don't want to be like thrown underneath the bus.
Because you're running for it. Why are you doing that? Oh, no.
Beat her.
Get the off of her. Oh, my mama, get off of her.
Don't touch
get off
her.
Get don't touch my daughter. Beat the fuck out you. Mom, don't touch my daughter. Go get my grandma.
Get the touch my daughter. Don't touch my daughter.
Kayla, go get my grandma. Oh, God, move the fuck. Go with your desk.
What a psycho mom. Prison scum.
So push me with your. Let me tell you something, got you trying to.
Basically, kind of like jumping a kid with her daughter.
Look, you kid. You are a little girl. I'll beat the fuck out you. Do you want to fight? Mom. Do you want to fight? Do you want to fight? Get your ugly daughter off her. I'll beat the fuck out your daughter myself. I'll beat the fuck out your grandma. I'll beat the fuck out your grandma. You want me to fight your daughter? You done with her? You done? You done? Get the fuck off her. Come on. You done? Get the fuck off her. Come on. You done? Come on. Get the fuck off her. Come on. Are you done? Get the all right, get off her, Maya. Get out the yard. Come on. You done? Get the fuck off her. Come on. You done?
And my daughter respectfully stopped, bro.
Oh my God, she's a Christian too. Wow. She filmed the whole thing. She probably already put it on TikTok or something. Parents have to be held accountable. Yeah, this is disgusting.
She stopped.
Come on. Come on.
Yeah, you come on.
Come on.
Come on, Maya. Don't. Come on. Beat her. Beat her, Maya. Beat her. Y'all want to bully my daughter? Beat her, Maya. Punch her. Get off their car. Get off their car.
Stop them. Get off of me. Leg on me. Stop it.
Don't hit them. Don't hit them. Don't hit them. Don't hit them.
They need to stop.
You can see when the lady comes out, she hits the little girl. See? She's crazy, bro. And I said, don't hit them. Don't do that. They're kids. Let them be.
Stop it. Stop it.
So if anybody broke the law, it's her. Like, I'm not going to stop it. My daughter's going to stick up for herself. It's just that simple.
Go over there. Go over there. Kid. You're going to end up no, I don't give a none of that. You're going to end up in suspension.
Don't stop, Maya.
Stop. Why are you kicking, you dumb? Stop.
kicking for? Ain't no rules to fight. Ain't no rules to fight. I'm not telling her stop. No, these little girls want to bully my child, so they're gonna fight them one-on-one.
Nobody's bullying your
Watch
kid.
your mouth, sweetheart. I told you on your mom. I'm not about to put my hands on you. You are a little girl.
Bitch, I just beat
You
your
are a
daughter.
child.
I just beat your daughter. I beat the fuck out you too.
You ain't gonna touch me, sweetheart. You ain't gonna touch. You ain't gonna. You. I got it all on camera.
Let's rewatch it. Let's rewatch it.
World star.
Let's rewatch it. I just beat the fuck out
Call your mom. Call your mom. Call your mom. Call your mom.
So call my mom.
As you should.
And this is the low class of women that we're getting over here. All this for TikTok or something.
Whose phone is it?
We fast forward out of this bullshit.
Call your mom.
My daddy got
Call your mom.
My daddy got
Call your mom.
They sound like B-dubs.
Call your mom. Ignore her. Call your mom. Call your mom.
That's just crazy. We don't do that on the West Coast. Like, these little girls, they think they're fast as they up here vaping. They sending nudes to other kids. My daughter is straight A's. She's on advanced classes. She's quiet. She stands up here by herself. Like, don't do nothing to nobody. My baby don't do nothing to nobody. And she's very humble.
Did she literally tell you she doesn't live in here?
Grandma, they moved out.
I mean, I saw you walk up and punch a kid, if you want me to be honest with you.
Bro, disrespectful is all. I'm like, just call your mom. She don't want to call her mom because she probably knows she'll get in trouble. Oh, you're going to kill me? The little black.
She's saying bro and all this? Wow.
Punch a kid,
Just
if
no
you want me to be
class.
honest with you.
Bro, disrespectful.
Bro, disrespectful is what the heck is this?
Is all. I'm like, just call your mom. She don't want to call her mom because she probably knows she'll get in trouble. Oh, you're going to kill me? The little black girl said, oh, I'm going to kill you. My mom will kill you. Okay, call her.
Excuse me. Where's the other little girl stay at, Michaela? Did she go to school?
She goes to the high school.
I'm saying, did she go to school after the fight?
Yeah, she went on the bus.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask this. What happened?
Okay, so basically, yesterday, I was talking to this girl, right, which is one of my friends, but her mom had said, like, I was lying to my grandma about a bunch of this stuff, and that's why she didn't like me, but it wasn't even me lying to her. So I told Paige, I was like, no, my grandma has told her, it was like, you lied to your mom saying it was all this, and blah, 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 blah.
Well, she blamed my grandkids for something that she lied about.
Yeah.
And that was all.
Hold on, grandma, let me talk. Okay.
We're going to reverse it back a little bit.
What do you think? She's going to get in trouble, guys, or what? I think she should be held accountable. Look at this. She belongs in jail, guys.
Your daughter was getting punched in the face when she punched a little girl.
This chick would hand her daughter a shank. Let's hand little Susie, 12-year-old or 9-year-old, a little shank.
Kind of relevant
for
person
first
can
little scrap.
But I'm saying, like, my decision making, normal people don't punch kids. Let's be real here. The only person you should put your hands on that's a kid is your own kid, and that's corporal punishment if they act up, right?
Yeah.
No, I ain't gonna.
Girl, I want to get for threatening me. That's what I want to do.
I'll watch the video again, but
No, she didn't. She didn't want to. She didn't even care about that. She's just trying to add some more drama into it now.
Hear that?
Yeah, it's on there.
So this is what we're.
And look at this. She tried to pull up like a guy, half on the curb, saying, "Hey, let's fight," and stuff like that. This is an example of a woman trying to be a man because the man wasn't around or something like that.
Video again, but I didn't
She probably does OF and stuff.
hear that.
Probably like that Roma Army chick.
Yeah, it's on there.
So this is what we're going to do, okay? I've already contacted the SRO. It's a criminal issue and a school issue, but I don't want to double-edged sword it to where I put all juvenile rap sheets on all three of them for a fray out here when it could get handled in administration at school, and now she's not affected until she's 18 years old, right?
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I fought when I was in high school and no one ever put a juvenile sheet on me, so I had a clean record when I turned 18. I think we all fought in high school. It's a bunch of preteens, teens, basically trying to figure out where we're going to be at in the world, right? The only thing I can say is it's hard to sit here and say that it was reasonable when you drove here to do it.
Well, she comes to the bus stop, so I got it.
So,
I
and
see what you're saying.
as an outside looking in, I don't want y'all to think I'm like condoning bullying or anything like that. But as an adult to ag on 12, 13, 14-year-olds fighting, it looks really bad.
It's not agging it on. She's just finishing it. They've already put
Yeah,
her-
she was egging it on the whole time, saying "F her up," cheering her on.
their hands on her. They've been doing it. My daughter's quiet. She's humble. And I asked, I said, you guys want to fight my daughter? I said, you're not going to sit here and bully her. And I got to pull up to the bus stop regardless. And I don't care if it makes me look bad. I'm not the one out here hitting kids. And I'm not the one out here, you know, saying I'm going to kill somebody. And my daughter makes straight A's. And
Yeah, not yet.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not neither condoning it nor condemning it. That's why I'm going to let school administration handle it, okay?
Yeah.
Are you okay? I mean, you got punched in the face a couple times, so I'm going to go ahead and ask you. I don't want y'all to think like I'm condemning you for defending your daughter, because I would do the same thing if I was in y'all's shoes. You see?
This guy's a simp, though, because that kid's white. So he's a simp.
Every day on the news, kids getting bullied and end up doing the worst thing possible.
Oh, yeah.
So
reaction is a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
Well, if y'all don't have any questions, y'all have a good day, okay?
Yes, I appreciate y'all.
No problem.
Shouldn't have done that, I know that, but I was trying to get them to stop fighting. So what, he's going to get me in trouble for this?
I don't know.
I said, do not put your hand.
I don't think either parent should be charged for it.
In Byram, New Jersey, is assigned to help a female who was on the side of the road calling for help. It turns out she would make this.
Well, we'll watch one more video and then kind of call it a night because it's up to 3 hours. So we'll do one more here.
The most miserable night of his life.
I tried to go home an hour ago. My phone died. If one of you tried to call my phone, my dad will literally show that he is on his way here. That he's trying.
Oh, we've seen this. We've seen this chick before. Let me go look at one more AI type of thing.
In October 2021, Mark
back on the tech
Zuckerberg stood
topic.
in front of the world and announced that he was renaming Facebook Meta. The future of the company, and indeed the future of human interaction itself, would be something called the metaverse. Our hope is that within the next decade, the metaverse will reach 1 billion people. He said that it would host hundreds of billions of dollars of digital commerce. People would work there, socialize there, attend concerts there, and presumably never wonder why they were doing all of these things while wearing a television strapped to their face.
Actually, guys, I'm gonna call it a night because I have some work to do tomorrow. So I think I'll do another live stream tomorrow at 7:30 or 8 or so. I might just start doing 8 o'clock all the time. So I might even continue with the same topic. But we just hit like the 3-hour mark. Well, we'll end it at, so it says 3:04, which is, I'll try to end it. So we'll like post as that. So thanks so much for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. Like the stream, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps me push this out and get some new subscribers. So I've got a lot of watch time, but I need to get more subscribers. So I'll add in some other tree stuff as well. I'm going to do some on mushrooms and kayaking and change up some other things too. So yeah, have a good night, guys. And we got Memphis, Steve, Liberty Caps. You guys all make great points. Very intelligent people in here. And again, like, I don't think we're fear mongering anything here. It's a place, that I think it's a good to explore what the future will hold upcoming for us and things like that. So I think that's a good thing to kind of go over with all that.